Welcome everybody to another RWD Gaming video. Tonight we are going to be playing Acid Rain, a system that Jeremy, who is joining us here tonight, created. It is a mashup of some of the finer mechanics from some of the systems that he has played, and he threw it all into one, and this is the awesome final product. It's a very rules light and RP heavy system. If you got any questions or concerns about it, just let them know. We're going to be playing Care Package, which, for the sake of continuity, is kind of like an episode of the show Acid Rain, which takes place in a post-apocalyptic world in the far-out future of 2012. So, without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to my players to introduce themselves, drop the channels and whatnot. So, starting us off at the right, Philip.
Hey guys, I'm Philip Matty, playing the Mouth in tonight's game. Excited to be playing with everyone here.
Of course, always happy to have you. Jose?
Hey guys, my name's Jose Soto, and I'm playing Crazy Joe, who's in Insane Con Man.
You will be right at home. Jeremy?
Everybody out there, my name is Jeremy. I come from the channel The Erasmus Expeditions. The Expedition Engine is a system that I put together, like Baron has told you. Super excited. This is the first time I've gotten the chance to actually play in it, as well as in the setting of Acid Rain, which is also something that I put together. So I can't be more excited for this night. As far as other than my channel, I also have a podcast that I just recently started with my friend Jeff Doty. We are called The Dudes of Yore. Right now we are available, our one episode is available on both YouTube and SoundCloud. And we have a second episode that has been recorded, and hopefully before too much longer, it will be out to the public. So yeah, this is a great cast of characters, both as players and as actual characters. So yeah, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to that next episode. Always digging the content you're putting out. Dave, you are last, but definitely not least.
Hey folks, I'm Dave with RWD Gaming, and I don't know if Philip and I have actually played online together. I know we played at AtCon before, but these other jokers I've had the pleasure of playing with, and it's always fun. Tonight I'm going to be playing Rex Payne, and if I stumble over it a little bit, I've still got a little numbness from the dentist earlier, so that should make it fun too. So Rex Payne, sometimes called the King of Pain. He is a cold bruiser. So looking forward to tearing some shit up tonight, breaking some faces.
That is the ultimate goal. Before we get started, this is an adult game. I only say that because this system is supposed to be exceptionally, not the system, this setting is supposed to be exceptionally over the top, graphic, in your face. So if you don't like it in your face, get out of my face, get out of here. I don't have anything else, so we can get right into it if you guys are all ready. After I get my music set up, of course. Yeah. All right. If we are all, oh, shit. If we are all ready, we can take it from the start. Tonight, on this episode of Acid Rain, I, your host, Archie Shaw, will be plunging the island into chaos yet again, for we are dropping 2 care packages on the island. The funny thing is, the valuable item inside cannot be attained without the other care package. So joining us tonight are our 4 misfit champions, if you will. Mouth, Rex Payne, Pops, and Jose, what was your character's name again?
Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe. And Crazy Joe. None of these 4 inmates have appeared to made a gang affiliation yet, so we are calling them the Outsiders. And they just so happen to be about 10 minutes away from the location of the first care package. So you guys are at liberty to choose any kind of items that you think you would have, any kind of inventory you think you would need. And in front of you is a large warehouse made of concrete and steel. You are definitely sure that there are many goonish inmates in there that are ripe for the killing. And all you got to do is bust your way in there. So how would you guys like to go about doing that?
So we've been here on the island for some time already.
That's up to you. I don't know if any of you guys wanted to be a new arrival or not.
But I mean, like, we're equipped.
Yep, you've had an indefinite amount of time to acquire anything you would need at this moment in time. The spotlight is on you guys, so it is safe to assume that at some point in recent TV history, you've been doing all right for them to want to pay attention to you.
So I think maybe we're parked about 10 blocks down the street. You know, we're pulled in behind some other cars that are dilapidated, and there's parts of them that are crushed. And there's hardly any difference between what they look like and what the car that we're sitting in looks like. And I think it's something nondescript, like a Ford Pinto, or, you know, an old station wagon with like part of the wood paneling wrinkling back or something.
There's a door missing.
Exactly. We welded like a piece of corrugated tin on the side. So I think Pops is kind of sitting behind the wheel of this station wagon, this kind of avocado green piece of shit. And he's got these mismatched leather gloves that he's holding the steering wheel with. The fingers have all been removed. And he's just kind of sitting there while somebody else, I think, is probably using binoculars, scope something next to him in the car.
I would think I would probably be using binoculars and taking a look around, you know, being a little paranoid.
And the mouth will probably be in the, I guess, back seat, so he can kind of lay out with his legs, you know, up, kicking the person in front of him. He's going to say, "Hey, so, you see anything?"
Not really, but you want to take a look? Maybe you have a better chance at it than me.
You better get those fucking feet off my shoulder before I break your goddamn ankle.
Whoa, 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 take it easy. All right.
I'm taking it easy. But you'll be limping away.
If you boys are done measuring your cocks, you think that maybe we can get something done here?
Are we like scouting out this like building, or what's going on?
Yeah, you guys are pretty much only aware that there are people in this warehouse and the care package that you're trying to lost the word. Trying
retrieve.
To make off with. Retrieve. Thank you. The care package you're trying to retrieve is inside this warehouse. It's kind of just a standard warehousing, shipping and receiving building. Obviously gone to shit in the time it's been here in Cadian's Keep, but like 3 large overhead doors for like semis to back into. It's a big concrete and steel nondescript building. Probably not the thickest walls, no insulation, no real interior work.
Does it belong to any of the main gangs here on Cadian's Keep, or are we aware?
Nope. This particular warehouse falls. I think there was an area that you had said was
Yeah, the big long one. I think it's Rickman's Island. I think.
As far as this particular episode goes, maybe last episode some crazy shit happened on the inland, so some of the overflow non-Greek, if you will, inmates have been forced into odd locations, and Rickman's Island, for this particular instance, is where you have all found yourselves. And that's kind of why they have started today's episode. There's no real gang threat to you, the outsiders. This is kind of just a free-for-all for those who want something special inside.
So I see Crazy Joe. He's like twisting the hairs in his afro, and then he would be like, "So, how are we doing this, Pops? Like, are you gonna run him over, or are we gonna send King Kong over here to like smash a few of them?"
You know, I hadn't really thought about it yet. There's probably a lot of them in there, but it's really more just a question of firepower, really. I think maybe we sit still for just a little while longer and watch them, and then I think we're going to need something a little bit sturdier than old Betsy here. He kind of pats the steering wheel. You're muted, brother.
But it never fails. So at this time, you guys hear like the slight outcry of a small scuffle going on by the building. You see like the overhead dome light by the door. There was a guy standing there by the door. He walked out probably shortly after you guys had started talking about what you were doing with the building. He lights up a cigarette, is just kind of sitting there, kind of looking around. You guys are roughly 10 blocks away, so he can't see you. And when I say you hear the faint cries of this scuffle, you are 10 blocks away. So it's not like you can hear them. You hear some shouting, but without looking through the binoculars. So I believe Crazy Joe is the only one with binoculars. He's the only one that can determine that two guys are duking it out in front of this door right now.
What the hell is that noise, Joe? What's going on?
Just two guys are just wailing on each other, and nobody really cares. They're just watching them.
They're infighting? Infighting's good. That's good news for us. There may be a coup.
They got an audience?
They do.
And as you're speaking, people are kind of coming out. They're rolling up the overhead doors. You can hear people shouting more so now. There's more people gathering outside here. There's some strife going on inside this building. Whoever has the care package doesn't want to share it.
The fuse has been lit, gentlemen.
Should we get a little closer and maybe try to start a little riot or something?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Put the car into park or into drive, not turn the headlights on, and then just barely let it idle out from behind the cars that it's kind of parked amongst, and kind of just start coasting slowly down the street.
No one is really paying attention to this end of the street. This warehouse is probably at the end of a warehousing district road. So I picture, this large warehouse, some shitty tree foliage to the left or west of you guys, and maybe a railroad behind this warehouse. And then the bay doors here on the south side facing you guys. Guys duking it out here on the side.
So the guy who was outside smoking, like how far away is he from us?
You guys are about 10 blocks, so I would say, after putting the car in idle, it's going to be a slow approach, but however far 10 blocks is, really.
All right. I think one of us should go in and see if we can sneak our way in. At least survey the care package,
As he's saying that, I would be like, oh, me, I want to go in there.
You think I trust one of you sons of bitches to go in there alone? I don't think so.
You could just gun it and go in the door.
I could. Yeah, I could. Then what are we going to do whenever they shut that door behind us? Then what?
I'll lift it.
Oh, I forgot that your brains were in your biceps.
And he kind of flexes. And you hear the crack of, muscles.
I had a pair of shoes that looked like that once. I don't think human beings should ever get like you. I'm just saying. I know you're a useful man and everything, but good God.
It's all about the muscle.
Well, we should at least try to park the car close enough so that way if anything happens, we can just get out, you know?
I'm driving, Joe. Would you rather drive? I'm driving. I'm going as fast as I'm comfortable with. If we give them away that we're here now, then that's all them that's going to be fighting us. So we're just going to get a little closer, play it safe. No reason to be stupid. Stupid gets you killed.
Gotcha. You should leave me around the corner when we get close. I'll get us some information or something.
You're going in on foot?
Might as well.
Oh, you're a crazy son of a bitch. I like crazy. Crazy will get you killed. I may have said that already.
Oh, I'm still here, aren't I?
Why don't one of us get up on the other rooftop there and take a little peek into the garage, see if we can catch a glance of that care package.
You know what? You got that rocket launcher back there, don't you?
Yeah, pass that up here.
Oh, well, okay. Rex is apparently going to take the rocket launcher then.
We're going to lean out the side of this car with a rocket launcher. Fucking shitty beater Volkswagen. Carry on, please. I'm all ears.
We may have to smash out the glass so that Rex can get out of the window. They used to work on the Dukes of Hazzard, but they weren't as big as he is.
Well, whatever you do, just please don't hit me with that thing, all right?
So as I take up this rocket launcher, I'm actually going to open the door and climb onto the hood, much to Pops' chagrin, because you can hear the hood buckling as I kneel down on it, and it's still just going slow enough, so I think I can manage it. And I just point the rocket launcher at this crowd that's gathering, and are we close enough to fire?
Hold on 1 second. I would say you've probably made it, like four or five blocks. So probably, yeah. I'm gonna have you roll for it though.
Okay.
In the way you described it, I would say that's a control roll. How did you envision it, Dave?
I'm seeing it kind of like flare.
Yeah, I can see that.
We're just
you
kind
are
of like
standing on the
showing. So
there's very little subtlety in that. So I would give you that. Are you an expert with? You're a bruiser. Are you an expert with rocket launchers? Would you say?
I wouldn't say I'm an expert with rocket launchers, but I would say that he probably spent some time in the military, so he's used one before, so he's familiar with weapons.
Well, I'm gonna say you can get 2 dice, being prepared, and the standard 1, I believe, is how it works.
So a total of 3, you said, or just 2?
Yep,
okay.
2.
All right, so I'm rolling below my flare, right?
Correct.
So I got a 2 and an 8, so my flare is a 6.
So 1 success, 1 failure?
Yeah.
So you succeed, but at a cost. And though I don't think the cost is to you directly, you did manage to fire a rocket into the crowd of people very successfully. That's not the unsuccessful part. I want to say you probably damaged this vehicle in the process of firing a rocket off the hood. I don't know cars, but I don't think this is probably designed for such maneuvers. So I'm going to say that you probably blew out one of the tires or kicked it off to the side.
On old
So
Betsy?
at the yeah, old Betsy isn't. She's on her last leg.
I think the axle on one side, just behind the tire, just blew with Rex's weight, and the blast kind of just on top of it was probably rusted through already. So they were just like dragging like a rim or like the axle on that side.
So all that that discretion and subtlety you guys were using by idling up, you got sparks kicking out from under this car.
And Rex turns around and he says, "You're gonna need to have that looked at."
Get back in this car.
And he's already starting to speed up.
I'll throw you right off of this hood like I did that lizard back in '67.
Ah, shit, Pops, you're gonna try to drive this three-wheeled monster?
Try to drive it. You watch something. I'll show you. Try to drive it, my ass.
Yeah, you never seen Pops. He's like MacGyver, man.
And at this point, you hear on kind of like the overhead. I picture like a blimp screen, kind of like the Goodyear blimp, but it's kind of broadcasting the show to you guys. And the extremely flashy, arrogant face that you have all come to know and love, Archie Shaw, comes up. He's got, in my mind, he's got some slick back, you know, bleach blonde hair. He's got the fancy big glasses. He's got big teeth in my mind, big ass teeth. And well, you look at that, folks. They had a rocket launcher in the car the whole time. No one even knew, except the viewers at home, as you seen him pick it up last week. Man, did you see those body parts go everywhere?
Fucking horse mouth.
It makes me physically ill.
Get that right.
I don't know. I kind of like him.
You would.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, you guys look like your brothers.
All right, here we go. This is it, boys. You better get ready.
Pops is gonna just pedal to the metal.
At this point, I'm like, I obviously the rocket launcher's spent, so I throw it over the side and I just grab the hood for what it's worth and hold on.
And the carnage has kind of unfolded in front of you. This rocket has decimated the small crowd that was hanging out outside this warehouse. The people that were fighting aren't fighting anymore. The people that remain are arming themselves and kind of looking in the direction of this rain of sparks flying through the air down the road. There's a couple people firing at you. Nothing is really clear in the rubble and aftermath of the explosion. So, Jeremy, depending on what you're trying to do with the car, determines what I'll have you roll for.
At this point, since discretion has gone by the wayside, it's all about just getting there before they have time to react. You know, it's just about closing the distance. And he knows that Rex is on the hood, but he knows that Rex is really strong. So he's just going to yell to him,
Hang on! Hang on, you giant son of a bitch!
and he's going to just gun it as fast as he can. And then whenever he gets close, he's actually going to pull like a drifting like slide in an attempt to use the ass end of this thing to take out the largest cluster of these guys that are still standing.
And you think you can actually almost hear the creak of muscle as he responds, and you can see the metal kind of buckle as he's starting to pull up on to hang on.
I almost picture him as like Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, that is Batista.
just throw him off the car. He'll be all right. So basically, there's the large, gaping hole in the side of this building now where you had fired this rocket, and kind of like not necessarily pouring out, but kind of hanging out the sides of these bay doors. Are guys kind of trying to get shots in at you or at you. There's a few guys still like, you know, gaining their feet. And I picture those are the guys you're going to smash into. If you would want to give me a control, that sounded like a control, maybe a flare.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think I'm going to go with flare instead.
I mean, if you want to give me
Yeah,
an example of what you thought it would.
I was thinking maybe speed, because I was attempting to try to get there before they have a time to react, and not necessarily carefully.
Yeah, you did definitely describe it in a, you know, we're doing this now manner for sure. And I would definitely say you're probably an expert and proficient with these. So 3 dice total.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I got a 5, a 7, and an 8. And if we are doing it with speed, I have a speed of 3. So I'm trying to get above. So it should be 3 successes.
So yeah, this is a standard pit maneuver for Pops. If he's done it once, he's done it 1,000 times. He's thrown many a person from the hood of a car. So as you bring the ass end of this shitty ass station wagon into this building, you slam into the remaining guys outside. There's still an indefinite amount inside that you have yet to encounter, but you have definitely taken out a large cluster of people in a matter of probably 20 seconds. Rex, you
want me
are
to
on the
roll
hood
to
of a
hang
car.
on?
Yeah, I was gonna say you're on the hood of a car that just crashed into the side of a building, or into a bunch of people. Force control.
Actually, what I would like to do is as he's coming up, seeing how the movement of the car is going, I want to try to leap off safely away from the car. So
I can see that as a flare again. Control maybe, force maybe.
yeah, probably.
I personally have never jumped off a car, but I'm sure it's not an easy task.
I could see it being more control, but also flare, because he's trying to make a statement as well. So, and he's probably done it before. So 2 dice.
I'm gonna give you 3 on this one. You're probably an expert at jumping off cars.
Yeah, he's definitely a rock star.
Well, 3, 7, and 8. So my flare is a 6. So I only got 1 success.
So, as you are projected from this car, there's a guy in front of you. You know, he's shooting. He doesn't necessarily see this hulk of a human being hurtling at him, and I think he turns to take a shot at you as you collide into him. And if anything, you kind of get burned by the gun. So go ahead. Is the damage die a D10, Jeremy?
The way that I usually run it is it's just a roll against their for their health die. Yes, correct. I think it is an acid rain. I'll double check.
Kind of the same mechanic as the ammunition from Black Heck. I think have you done damage, Dave, in this system?
It is a D10.
So I'm going to roll for damage?
Yep, roll a D10, and if it's 1 or 2, you'll go down damage die.
So it's a 4?
So yeah, you're safe. You managed to, though not as gracefully as you would have liked. I'm sure the viewers back home loved it, but
yeah, I probably caught the barrel on my arm, and that's where it was the hot barrel. I accepted it, but I just grinned at him, gritted my teeth as I grabbed the gun from him, and just used him as a landing mat.
And like I said, he's dead. You're easily 280, 300 pounds, and I'm not exactly sure how fast that car was going, but getting hit by that, you're not going to end well.
So as I spin around, I'm taking the rifle that I took from him, and I just scan to see if there's any other targets that are up.
Before we do that, I'm gonna have Mouth and Crazy Joe get in something if they would like to.
Do it.
You guys have definitely rattled in the back of the car, but you haven't sustained any injuries.
Well, since the car stopped and all this shit happened, am I near the pile of bodies that got hit all over the floor by the car?
I mean, yeah, if you want to be. If you hopped out, they're probably right there.
Yeah, I want to like try to look for a weapon, like a gun or something that I can, get my hands on, and
Well, Crazy Joe, what kind of gun would you like?
I want to tell me.
As you hop out of the car, you see the shitty pinstripe suit of a wannabe thug that you were familiar with earlier on in the show. This is a guy that you maybe got dropped off with, but haven't seen very much since then. You heard he may have gotten some gang affiliations, but it's hard to tell for sure in this Cadian's Keep. But as you kick him over in your disgruntled memory of him, you see that he was laying on what other than a Tommy gun.
Nice. So I would like grab it, and then I would grab his hat, which is probably bloodied, and I would like clean it off of myself and put it on, and like, what do you guys think? Yeah.
And it's just kind of sitting on top of your fro. It's not like pushing down onto your head.
So yeah, so he would just like grab this hat, try to fit it on, and he would get close to the building, but instead of even like looking, he would just take the gun and raise it above the window and just start shooting in there without even like looking, just going crazy with it.
You hear a lot of ricochets off of stone and mortar, but there are a couple like that come from that general direction that leads you to believe that you may have hit somebody. Go ahead, and what would you describe that as in terms of stats? How would you have gone about doing this?
I would think flare, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that as flareful.
How many dice you want me to roll? One?
Being an expert at shooting blindly, I don't necessarily see, but you're definitely skilled in shooting, I would imagine, in a direction. So I would say 2.
Alright, so I put my flare at 9, and one dice was 4, the other one was 3.
So 2 successes. So you definitely managed to pepper some dudes that were hanging outside of bay doors that may have ultimately relieved some baddies by them. And Mouth, would you like to get in on the action?
Yeah, so Mouth is gonna kind of like almost fall out of the door. He was just in not a good position to hold himself down from that maneuver that Pops just pulled. So he kind of falls out of the door, and he's like, "Whoa, oh shit! You guys remodeled the place. I like it. It really opens up the place, And he's gonna look around for like a shotgun, hopefully, that he can find from one of the downed bodies.
What kind of shotgun, Philip?
Shotgun
with Mouth like
a sawed-off shotgun.
Double or single barrel?
Single barrel, probably with like 3, maybe 3 bullet clip, so that he can.
Righto. Yeah, absolutely. There is a smorgasbord of various kinds of inmates here. One side of the car, there's a gangster in pinstripe, and on this side, there's kind of like a skinhead-looking dude, maybe a white power reject, and laid across his chest, maybe his arms blown off, like holding it across his body. He's holding a sawed-off shotgun, and in his hunter's vest, you see like a box of shells hanging out. Like they were just kind of like stuffed in there. It's like ripping the pocket.
Yeah, so Mouth will go reach forward and say, "Hunting season's over, you redneck fuck!" and take the shotgun, kind of, and look for someone, and instead of firing at them, he wants to say, "All right, now where's the care package?"
I would say at this very moment, there's no one really in immediate earshot that's not mildly distracted with what's going on to answer you.
Okay.
But we can get back to Dave and Rex, and I can tell you.
Did Pops get to act?
If he wants to.
So yeah, the cars kind of come to a abrupt stop, and everybody else has kind of jumped out, grabbing guns, getting ready. Pops, meanwhile, is trying to get his seatbelt undone, and because of the accident now, it's just stuck. And of course, he's wearing his seatbelt, and he's kind of tugging at it, and he finally just, son of a bitch, and he reaches onto his hip, and he pulls out this incredibly stupidly large knife and just starts cutting through the seatbelt to get himself out.
With a comically large knife, I don't foresee that being very difficult.
So he finally makes the door open, and I think it probably comes off of its hinges whenever he does for the final time.
It doesn't even like fall off. It like drops down
Yes.
and then falls.
It falls.
Well, I think we're gonna have to pick up some more Bondo.
And he kind of steps out onto the door. And I think you see this guy is wearing like snakeskin boots that actually have spurs on them. And his jeans are like mostly jean, but on the edges coming up the sides of his legs, there's actually black patent leather. Not patent leather. No, just the black matte leather. And it's got like metal rivets like all the way down it. And he kind of casually kind of shifts his weight and kind of gets out, steps on top of the door. And he's got this big belt buckle, this huge belt buckle. It's got a picture of a relief of a motorcycle emblazoned on it, and there's like fire coming off of it. And he's got like this wife beater shirt on with a leather jacket that's covered with patches. And he kind of cracks his back audibly.
Oh, that's a doozy.
And he reaches back in and he pulls out 2 submachine guns that are probably about 1.5 feet long each, both black, look like MP5s, something along those lines. And he kind of...
All right, it's time to bring the hellfire.
Just a quick recap: we got Crazy Joe, Mouth, and Pops, kind of squaring up to this building as they exit the vehicle, and then Rex had wrecked a dude and is inside.
And so Rex, thinking to himself that every time he sees Pops in his full glory, he just looks like a damned retired Chippendales dancer. He kind of spins around and looks for a target to let loose on, or more than one.
And in front of you, there's actually quite a few people. They're all kind of scattering in lieu of this fucking massive hole being created in the side of the building that they were trying to defend. Didn't really expect that one. So everyone's kind of scattering about. And you see a few guys, for whatever reason, they catch your attention more so than anyone else because they aren't freaking out. They are calm. And they're kind of shuffling into this back room. And other than this small room, this is just a huge open warehouse full of fucking garbage, trash, and skids, and forklifts that have been on fire, and all sorts of shit. This is the only room in here. But yeah, there are plenty of people that you could open fire on if you so choose.
Well, I'm going to open fire on those guys that seem to be calm because they've got too much calm. So probably force.
Yeah, absolutely. You're running and gunning them down.
And I have used a weapon before, so 2 dice.
Well, I mean, I would say you're probably an expert at killing people at this point.
Okay. So I got a 3, a 4, and a 10. So
one failure.
Yeah, force is 7. So
And what weapon did you say you had got a hold of?
whatever that, I guess he had
the rifle that the guy had.
Yeah.
Righto. So yeah, you managed to get a couple rounds off at these guys, and the one guard standing in front of the rest of this posse, he takes it to the chest, and he falls into like the guy they're protecting, who kind of and walks into the room at a brisker pace. And the other couple guys, they've kind of like brought their attention to you, rather than maintaining the chaos. They're gonna open fire at you. And they had 1 success and 2 failures. So they get another round. One guy hits you. I'll let you roll damage die again to determine on how bad that is, if it's just a surface wound or an actual.
You said that was 2 or 1 dice?
The only 1 hits you, so you only have to roll your damage die once.
Oh, that's a 10.
Another surface wound for the indomitable Rex. I would say this probably is the same as before. Another graze.
Okay.
I guess that would be up to you if you'd like to put some details into that. But you are striking fear into the hearts of these men.
Yeah. So Rex wears this like jean shirt button up with the sleeves ripped off of it, and his pants, he probably wears some like black jeans and combat boots. And so it grazed his left arm, and he looks down at his tribal tat, and he looks at it, and then he just slowly turns at the guy that shot him and just shakes his head at him.
You see the guy like visibly trying to reload his weapon, like
In other words, you're fucked.
All right, so Rex has definitely entered the fray. What are the rest of y'all doing?
Well, Crazy Joe, like after shooting through the window and everybody being outside, and he sees the Rex is in there, he would like open up the side door and just take a peek, see if he sees anybody, and just start going in there.
You're seeing the same kind of picture here. Fucking this building is starting to cave in at this point. The structural stability of the southeast or southwestern side is gone. There's a lot of people running out of the building. Not so much concerned with the care package, but you see Rex kind of beelining towards this back corner where the RPG did not hit. And it's kind of drawing your attention over there too, to see the guys like looking at him, them.
I got you. Like, he would get a little closer and he would look at the guys and he'd be like, guys, and he would go like, all right, if I was you, I would put my guns down, because if not, I'm gonna shoot you, and then he's gonna shoot you, and then you're gonna die. So
Are you saying this to them?
Yes, I'm saying that to the two dudes.
There's actually another guy that's like inside the door. Well, that just don't make any sense. Why should I put my gun down? And like the other guy's like, dude, shut the fuck up. And he opens fire at you as well, Jose. He got 2 successes, so go ahead and roll your damage die twice. So what? I don't know if you heard how that worked for Dave. Roll a d10 twice, and if the first one is a 1 or 2, you'll drop it down. If not, it'll stay a d10.
The first one was 6, and the second one was a 1.
So the first shot was, in all intents and purposes, a surface wound or a miss. But the second one was enough to injure you enough to drop you down a damage die. So next time you take damage, instead of rolling a d10, you'll roll a d8. And if you get a 1 or a 2, it'll drop you down to a d6. Make sense?
Yeah. Can I fire back or?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So he would be like.
I don't really have an initiative order for this, so it's kind of just going as you interact. So feel free to chime in.
Crazy Joe just got shot. He fell to the ground, and he would just like, as he's holding the gun, he would just pretty much fire at the dude's legs, since that's the first thing in front of him. He would just hold the barrel down. He wouldn't even think about it. He would just,
That sounds like an instinct roll to me. Does that sound fair?
So, Wanda?
I'm going to say 2. Actually, yeah, 2. You're probably an expert with weaponry of some kind. I pretty much picture most people that have managed to survive here have at least held a weapon. Outside of the dude that's in that room, because he hasn't held a weapon.
Okay, well, I got 2 successes.
Righto. So yeah, you managed to shoot the guy by the door, leaving like the one guy that's like fumbling with his magazine, trying to prepare himself for Rex. But the other guy, you managed to like spray him up, and he's fallen into the doorway. And you hear like the guy that was like, "Well, that don't make no sense. God damn it, Jimmy!"
And then right after there, he would be like, "Woo!"
For sure, for sure. What's Mouth up to?
I guess Mouth is just going to kind of wants to survey the scene, He probably doesn't really want to fire on anyone. So here's what he's going to do. He's going to see that Crazy Joe has kind of been shot and fallen down. And so Mouth's going to take this opportunity to kind of pull him by his leg behind some like barrels that are nearby. It's going to be...
There's plenty of rubble and shit that you can hide behind.
Yeah. So... Ah, shit, Joe! You got shot! Come on! Ah! And he'll just be like dragging him by his leg, and I picture that's when Joe's like, ha 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 ha! And just like shooting as Mouth is, dragging him into safety, hopefully, for both of them.
And Pops, meanwhile, has kind of got his eyes narrowed towards the door where these others just ran from the gunfight. So he's kind of, and then he takes a step and there's a crunch. He looks down and he sees that he just broken the window on the door that had fallen off the station wagon. He kind of looks up.
Well, I'll be all right.
He starts smashing out the rest of the glass. Then he reaches down, slings both of his MP5s over his shoulders, and he picks up the car door. And he kind of holds it out in front of himself, almost like a riot shield. And he starts kind of slowly moving forward.
Kids always got to be in a damn hurry. This is what happens when you get into a hurry. You don't think about things, then you miss this stuff. It's just apparent. It's underneath your feet, people. It's not that hard.
Pops doesn't mess around. Like, I'm gonna fucking hit these people. They got MP5s and studded leather pants.
Hey, come on over this way, Pops.
Yeah, I'm coming. Here I come. But you're gonna want me to fix that bum leg of yours too. Should have known whenever you introduced yourself as Crazy Joe that I was in over my head.
I fucking love the RP in this game so far. It's great.
I think Pops kind of gets over there and he kind of sets down the car door and leans it up against the part of the rubble that they're behind now, and he kind of again cracks his back.
Oh, I think I might be getting old.
And he kind of elbows one of them a little harder than he needed to. Actually, I think he probably elbows Crazy Joe. Like,
oh, sorry about that. You gonna lay there all day? We got shit to do.
I'll get up. Watch it.
Where exactly did you get shot again, Jose? You say the shoulder?
Yeah, I would say that he bumped me like right in the shoulder where I got shot at. So I'm over here like pretty much like I'll take like a piece of gum and put it in the hole where I got shot.
No, man, this is an action movie. You take the bullet out of a bullet, you take the round out or whatever, and you light it the gunpowder on fire. Don't you know?
Hey, wait, ain't nobody got time for that.
just press
Like
the
a
hot
fork.
barrel of your gun into it.
Cauterize it somehow, man. Lick it. Who cares?
I'll let Rex take the bullet out for me. Hopefully he doesn't take out my arm with it.
Casually rips your arm off. Yeah, Rex, you were beelining towards this door. What are you up to now?
Yeah, at this point, I'm actually sprinting towards the door, and I would imagine they probably are closing it right about the time I'm getting to it. So I basically just knuckle down and then just brace to hit the door.
I would say that's probably force or speed.
Yeah, force.
Yeah, your character is force incarnate.
And he's probably done this before, so...
Yeah, I would say you're probably an expert at busting down doors. Prepared as well.
All right, that is a 3, a 4, and a 6.
All successes?
All successes, because I have a 7 in force.
So yeah, up until this point, there was only the 2 guys outside, the 1 guard inside, and then the girly man that also went inside. The 2 guys that are outside are dead now. So go ahead and tell me what happens when you blow this door open with the sheer force of your body.
So I would imagine this door was once a very sturdy door, but over time and the reality of not taking care of it, it is just not what it once was. So as he hits at center mass, the thing literally just buckles and explodes inward as wood shards are flying, and the mechanics of it all the handle is just clattering to the side as Rex basically comes in and kind of skids down on one knee and then just basically holds the rifle up as he scans the inside, preparing for what's next.
Rexbo, fuck Rambo. So, in the process of blowing open this door, the one guy who was kind of guarding it, it knocked his weapon to the side, and he fired, and he shot the girly man, who is now flailing and screaming about on the ground, covered in shards of door. He's bleeding. The other guy is kind of dazed and confused, and before he even gets a chance to look up at you, Dave, Rex, I'm sure, has plenty of opportunity to blow this guy away. I'm not going to make you roll for that. But next to this guy, for all intents and purposes, he's in a more white-collar getup, a shirt and tie, some slacks, some dress shoes. He doesn't have a coat or anything, but he's definitely more of a wiry frame, kind of some like gelled brown hair, come over to the side. Maybe like a broken pair of glasses in his pocket, and he's kind of like laid out on this this box that does not look like anything else in this building. It does not belong here. This is like a nice, recently crafted care package, if you will. It's a steel reinforced box with a basically a standard locking mechanism, if you will.
And Rex actually looks up at the guy that shot the girly, man. He says, "That ain't no way to treat a lady."
And this guy is like laying on the ground. No, please, please. I can get you whatever you want. I have money. I have all the money in the world. I can get you anything. Please don't kill me, please.
This is the girly, man.
Yes.
And I just look at him like, yeah, I think it's time for you to die.
And he
at that point. Oh,
no, go ahead.
sorry, I was going to say, at that point, right after the guy says money, that's when Mouth is going to like poke his head in and he's going to be like, "Ah, nice job there, Rex. Yeah. Oh, you got money? Yeah. Hey.
I got plenty of money. I got plenty of money. Man, plenty of money. I got this here, and I know where the other one is. So if you help me get this over there, you can have whatever's in it. It's all yours. I just want to live. I want to be able to get out of here, man.
Okay. Just a second here. Put your gun down, Rex."
You actually, the more you look at him, the more you can see that this guy's kind of tweaking. His pupils are dilated. He's got like a small froth at the corner of his mouth. That very well could be on account of the fact that he got shot. But he's definitely not as worried about the pain as this, wiry frame would lead you to believe he would be. He is very up.
Like there's a bang at the door frame back at the entrance to the room, and Pops has still got this car door, and he's trying to go through the door with it. And he tries once or twice and can't get through it. And he kind of just gives up and just drops it onto the floor outside of the door, and he kind of stumbles in, bow-legged as can be. And he says,
You could have knocked a bigger hole in the wall. You took the damn door off of its hinges, but you couldn't have just made it a little bit wider so that I could get through with the shield that I managed to rescue from Betsy to save all of our lives. What's going on in here?
It's never fucking good enough. And the hat, no, as he's looking at the Crazy Joe.
He's right. It makes you look stupid. Have I ever said that stupid gets you killed?
Yeah, you did. And he would like take it out. He'd be like, "Here, you can have it."
Crazy Joe just went to self-conscious Joe very fast.
All right, Mouth. What do you got for us?
You see him kind of like reaching into actually no, he's not wearing a coat. He's reaching into his pocket and he's pulling out and he's shaking pretty bad now. You see now he got shot pretty good. It's probably a belly wound, but he's still bleeding now.
This was the guy in that pinstripe suit.
This is just the white collar girly screamy man that is being shit on.
Gotcha,
the pinstripe suit guy was just some body outside.
Okay.
So he kind of reaches into his pocket and pulls out a radio. My boys, they're at the other warehouse. They have the other package. And he reaches into his other pocket, and I got the key to this care package. I'll trade you. You just gotta save me. That's all I need. You just gotta save me.
So Mouth is going to say, all right, easy there. Come here, have a seat. And he'll like go and sit down on the crate and like pat the seat next to him and light up a cigarette, and two of them at once, and offer one to the guy. He's like, all right, you give me the key here and we'll talk about it. And he wants to like try and just like calm this guy down because he can tell that he's fucked up, and like, he's gonna offer him a cigarette and be like, all right, now just tell us who your buddies are and why we need both packages. And if he can maybe try to charm the guy into giving him the key, then he'll like then quickly hand it over to pops.
Shit, man, if that was me, you'd have got the key right out of my fucking hand. Go ahead and give me a charm roll. I would say you're fucking prepared and an expert just in methodology alone.
Okay, cool. So
Here's a
what?
sig. Can I have that thing you have? Yeah.
Aaron's ready to go out for a drink with Phil. I'm just kidding.
So I roll 3, and do I have to roll over or under, or how does that work? You're muted. Yeah, cool.
What was the stat you were choosing? You said
Charm.
Charm, which is on the left, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Correct.
You're going to want to try and roll over your number.
Okay. Good, because I put a low number in charm on purpose. Ooh. Okay, so I have 1 3, 1 9, and 1 1, and my charm is 3.
So you have 1 failure, 2 successes, but 1 was on the dot.
Okay, right, correct.
I don't remember the exact mechanic for this one. Jeremy, do you remember offhand the buff you get for rolling your number in this one?
Yes.
Right
I think it's for the fan care package.
Oh, fame point. Yeah,
Yeah.
get a, and you need 10. Oh shit!
I adjusted it whenever I ran my game because 10 proved to be a lot.
Yeah. I
Thank
recall. You got a fame point, Philip. So I'm gonna let you get a care package right now, despite the fact that this has 10. The crowd's loving you. You got Archie Shaw over on the loudspeaker right now. By golly, a man after my own heart. I love that character down there. Give him a care package. And it's almost like a t-shirt cannon that you'd see at like a basketball game, but to an obnoxious proportion. And they fire this care package, and it does not help the structural stability of this place at all either. Crashes right into the building. You have a whereas this care package you're sitting on is kind of like, you know, a trunk. This is like a small lockbox with a key already in it.
Ah, perfect. I hope it's another pack of smokes.
And this care package, I want, I'll take a volunteer if any. Someone sent this to Mouse. Jeremy, yeah. Jeremy, I want you to kind of like we did in your game, be the outside viewer who would send Mouse something. And what did you send him?
So the outside viewer that sent him this gift is named Stanley Dworsky. Yeah, Stanley Dworsky. And so I guess we see this guy, and he's getting to be a little aged, but looks like he still lives at home kind of guy. And little doughy, kind of watery-eyed, big glasses, makes his eyes almost completely disappear. He's got bad comb over. Hi. Is this on? Hello? Am I on TV? I love this show. Cadian's Keep is my life. And I think that Mouth is probably I can't tell where's the camera? Oh, here we go. Mouth is my favorite character ever. Mouth, this is for you, buddy. Enjoy it.
I'm sorry, but as this happens, like Crazy Joe would look at Mouth and he would pull out like a condom out of his hand and place it in his, and he's like, "Here you go, buddy. Keep it classy."
That's what we're about here at Cadian's Keep. Class.
And safe sex. Well.
And safe sex. There isn't any functioning hospitals here on Cadian's Keep. Jeremy, did you say what exactly was inside this care package?
I didn't. Oh man, let's see. A present
What?
from Mouth from a big fan.
What would Stanley send Mouth?
Okay, and how science fiction do you want to go with this?
I mean, that's up to you, buddy. I don't care.
Okay, so this thing is a megaphone, but it is also like there's a shotgun hidden inside the part of the megaphone that has like the little cone that points out. It's got like one shell, but the shell is like an 8-gauge shotgun shell. So it's like the size of like the biggest thumb you've ever seen in your life.
I've got something to say, and you're going to hear it.
Mouth is going to take it, and he's going to test it out and say, "Thank you, Stanley! When I get out of this, you're going to get a lap dance on me!"
You see the visage of Archie on the big screen. How about that? Something to make Mouth's mouth even bigger. And at this time, the scrawny guy who's kind of laying down, he's, smoking this cigarette, and at some point or another, he's got blood on it, so it kind of just fizzles out. He's like, I don't got a lot of time, man. I'm dying here. You shot me. He shot me. And he points at Rex. And if you're going to shoot me and you want this care package, you got to make sure I live.
What are you squeaking about over here, Mouse?
Pops is gonna kind of strode over to him.
You got a little belly shot? Yeah, you'll probably live, maybe.
He kind of bends down, his knees popping, kind of digs the end of his thumb into the bullet hole just a little bit.
So, you want to live? Is that what I'm hearing?
As soon as your finger touches that bullet wound, he squeals. Ah! What are you doing? Stop!
Shut up. Man, there's not very many high-pitched noises that still get picked up by these old ears, but I'll tell you what, that is excruciatingly painful. So, you want to live? Is that correct?
Yes, I want to live? What do you think? I've only been saying it this whole time.
Yeah, you're very hard to understand. You speak too softly and too fast for me. So, if you want to live, then you're going to have to get along with me and the boys here. And I can tell you right now that what you're doing is not going to fly very well. So, you want to live and we want what you've got. So, we're going to load your ass into one of these cars along with this pretty little box you've got here. And we're going to drive out of here. And I can tell you right now that not one of us is a doctor. So it's a good thing you went ahead and gave over them keys because, if you blow up or you catch on fire or you fall off of a tall building, we don't want to have to go after your corpse just to get the keys. So it's a good thing that we've got a hold of it. And he kind of pats where he put them in his leather vest. We're just going to say keep those. But you really should get on your feet now. We're going to try to find some, I don't know, a torn up t-shirt or something to stuff in this wound of yours and hopefully stop the bleeding, and maybe you won't get infection.
And at this point you kind of see him like reaching for like a gun that's maybe like just out of his reach. Clearly noticeable to all of you.
That's not intelligent, young man.
And he's like, no, this can't be it.
Rex is going to walk over and grab his hand and just start squeezing slowly.
And I think with less intention that you maybe wanted to, his hand kind of just breaks really, really fragilely. He's screaming in pain. He's frantic, and he's frothing severely more heavy now.
He looks over at Pops and he says, I guess that was a little more force than was intended. Well, at least you still got another hand. For now.
And he kind of like, get away from me. Get away.
Are you coming with us or not?
No, I won't go with you. Get the care package yourself.
You gonna tell us where it's at?
Why would I do that? So you can break my other hand?
Pops kind of puts his boot next to this guy's throat, pressing the spur that he wears kind of up against the soft spot of his neck.
He's like,
Because
okay.
that's the last time I'm gonna ask nicely. That's why.
All right. You got the keys. You've got the care package. The other care package is about 2 miles north of here, in a warehouse very similar to this one, with a lot more people that are a lot meaner than I am. The guy you're looking for goes by the name of the Lieutenant. You may have heard of him. And actually, up to you guys who it is. This person has been the biggest antagonist to you since you've been on this island. They may have worked together with you in the beginning, forming a false friendship of some kind. Really, at your discretion, it doesn't matter to me. But this person has betrayed you so deeply that you want nothing but their demise. And that's up to you guys.
We kind of see Pops kind of turn and look to the rest of the group kind of with a raised eyebrow, like, this is what we've been waiting for. Two birds, one stone. And I think if it's okay with everybody, I think there's like a jump cut to us in another car that we've managed to piece together, or what have you. And we're driving towards this other destination. And
before you get too far, Jeremy,
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
feel like this jump cut kind of starts when one of you guys open this care package with the keys, and like the lid flops open, and like there's that stereotypical like Pulp Fiction gold light from the suitcase. But you don't see it at first. Then going to the clip forward, where you guys would be. And actually, we are going into scene 2, which is kind of like the third and climactic scene. So we're going to go ahead and take a break here, if you guys don't mind. Sound good?
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is
All right, dude.
awesome, guys. This is so fun.
Oh, man. I was fucking a train wreck of nerves going into this game, and I fucking fretted for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's golden. It's awesome so far, guys.
All right, yep. Get your drinks, take your piss, whatever you got to do.
I'm back from outer space. Having an absolute blast, everybody. I hope everybody who's watching is as well. This is so much fun.
Definitely a lot different than I thought it was gonna be, but definitely fun as hell.
Different in the setting?
Well, I didn't know it was like a TV show type thing where, you know, they watch you and you do crazy shit and, you know, yeah.
Like I said in the chat, it's kind of like Escape from New York meets The Running Man meets Hunger Games kind of style, very much. You know, again, where 2012 is the distant future, and they took this island and sequestered it off after a huge nuclear fallout, and then they just started dumping prisoners there, and there's no wardens, there's no rules. It's just
I picture
mayhem.
Purge plus Hunger Games.
I'm not familiar with Purge.
Oh man, well, it's a shitty horror movie that came out about 5 years ago, where one day a year everyone gets to kill and do whatever the fuck they want.
Oh yes, okay.
That's the big solution to crime in this movie.
Gotcha. It was
That's
like
kind of what I picture.
Yeah, there was like a 4th of July tied to it
Yeah.
somehow or something.
Yeah, I think so. But it's the premise is like the rich elite are safe because they can afford all these, you know, safety measures and shit. And I kind of picture that like this, you know. Cadians is very, you know, discretionless. It don't matter who you are. If you get busted, you're coming here. Sucks to suck.
Yeah, absolutely. Even like what we would consider petty crimes, you know, people are shipped away. You know, there's no deportation anymore because the world is one nation now. You know, it's this utopia, but the only reason that it's a utopia is because anybody who does anything remotely wrong gets thrown out with the garbage.
Gets their chance at stardom here on Cadian's Keep.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I'm hoping with that in mind, the care package is worth it.
If it's glowing gold, I bet it is.
Might be. What exactly would you do with gold in Cadian's Keep?
No, I mean if it's glowing gold.
What's in the box?
Exactly.
But no, the RP in this game has been spectacular. So I definitely give a hand to my players in that regard because I'm not really doing a whole lot on my end. So that's perfect.
You built the playground, brother.
And you definitely did. Oh, which is awesome.
I've come to the conclusion that my best RP moments come from the shitty, douchebaggy, wiry, annoying villain, the high pitched squealers, if you will.
Yeah, almost even Lord Croak. He wasn't really high pitched, but he was like still, you know,
You got
slimy villain.
Yeah. I've been trying to make them better, man. Meaningful combat.
Yeah, they're great. It's awesome.
I think we had. Are we waiting on Dave's? No, Dave's back. So if we're all here, we can get back into it. Any questions, consultations, or anything thus far this game? Any midway questions on the rules? Everything's pretty self-explanatory. Digging it?
Yeah,
Should we have
super
brought
easy.
Little Miss? Should we have brought Little Miss Broken Hand with us? Is like,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
actually how I was going to do the scene transition.
okay.
It's like when it like cuts to us driving in a new car, he's actually strapped to the hood.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, he's squealing the whole way. You can't tell if it's the car, like the belts on the car squealing, or if it's just him. Maybe both. Who knows?
I thought it was mouth.
Pops takes one look at this car and says, "We're gonna call this one the little piggy that went wee wee wee." But all right, yeah, Jeremy, you said you got a solid lead into this next scene. I'm going to leave that to you. We are en route to Warehouse B, where the second care package and the longtime antagonist of Pops and maybe the whole crew, the lieutenant, is kind of held out.
So yeah, I almost see, almost kind of Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez-esque. The camera's kind of low on the street, and we see like this POS again just rumble past, you know, Soup Cam kind of trundling after it, and this guy is strapped down to this hood. And
I almost picture it's like a very calm, like road music, and it's kind of like slowly
Yes.
passing by everybody in the car, and there's no sound to go with it. So like as it slowly gets to this guy, everyone's real calm. You know, Pops is driving, everyone's kind of like doing their thing, loading their ammunition, and you got this guy screaming on the front of this car.
Absolutely. And then it switches into an interior shot from the car of Pops is making the windshield wipers wipe away the blood that's kind of splattering out of this guy up onto the windshield.
Damn it, I knew we should have plugged that hole up before we got him on there.
So Crazy Joe would like get off, you know, like hold on to the side and get above where the guy is at, yelling and everything. And he would be like, "If you don't shut up, I'm gonna make you look like fucking grated cheese. Now be quiet."
And despite your best efforts to console this guy, he's screaming his fucking head off. He didn't even hear you, really. He just
After that, he would probably like take off one of his socks and just like put it in this mouth.
Oh my god, that's disgusting.
Oh, put your shoe back on, Joe. That's disgusting, man. Come on. Oh.
Hey man, somebody had to shut him up.
You hear the sounds of like a muffled vomit from behind a sock.
All right, so he said there's more people with this one. What he said, right?
Yeah, he did. Mouth definitely grabbed his radio too, and he's like, "Do you think we should try to let the other boys know we're coming, or do you think we should just try to listen in?"
Yeah, just key it a couple times, see if it responds.
So,
do you want to hit the button?
yeah.
So you, despite the screaming coming from outside the car, the inside of the car, you have all four windows, so it's still deflecting some of the sound, loud enough that the whole car can hear the audible like dee-dee-dee of you trying to page this walkie-talkie, and it's quiet for a minute, but then you hear an almost haunting voice, a voice that would instantly flash you back to the last time you've seen this person, and it's a gruff old voice. What is it?
Is that him? That lieutenant?
As far as
Sounds
if
like
you
it.
had to take a roll of the dice, you'd say that's that cold son of a bitch right there.
Sounds like him. Oh, makes ice run in my veins. Makes me want to get stupid. But stupid and crazy both can get you killed.
Really?
Excellent deduction. And after he
That's son of a bitch.
and after he speaks, it's quiet again, and then, hello, Christoph. You there?
Anybody good at impersonations?
Yeah, let me.
He looks directly in the rearview mirror at Mal.
Yeah, let me try it. And he'll click onto it and say, "Oh yeah, we're coming in. There's a couple of us. We're in a." And then he'll unclick it. What are we driving here, Pops?
You are a seriously uneducated young man. This is a Cadillac, a 1956 Cadillac to be certain.
Yeah, and I imagine you start going into like a ton of detail, like 3.4 liter, and
Yes.
like the ratios of the cylinder, everything, and
6 miles to
just
the
kinda say-
gallon.
exactly, and I'll be like, yeah, and then I'll click back. We're coming in a station wagon, and yeah. So if I need to roll anything for that,
And don't forget to threaten him with the strap on. The one on the hood.
What would you say that is, Philip? Knowledge, charm.
yeah, I mean, I would think probably charm again, but
Yeah, for sure. Run it. I
Okay.
don't know how much of an expert you are at mocking people, or not necessarily mocking, but
voice acting. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't interacted with this guy very much, so probably I can't
I
do
would
his
say
impersonation.
I'm going to give you one die.
So roll one die.
Yep.
Or two total. One
total.
Ooh, I rolled the 2.
Is that a success?
That is not a success.
Is that a failure?
It is.
Since there's no major drawbacks to talking to someone on a walkie-talkie, I think the line stays quiet for a second. I don't know who the fuck this is, but we're looking for you. And the radio goes silent.
Crazy Joe would like grab the radio again. We got your girlfriend.
Keep him. Who has the care package? Because at this point you're holding like a small lockbox that was inside of the trunk.
Probably Rex.
I just picture like whoever has it is probably like fumbling with it, trying to like break the lock. But out of everything you've seen in Cadians, this stuff has been like the highest quality. So just fucking with it isn't going to be enough to pop the lock. This is, as far as you can tell, a very sophisticated locking system. Definitely not intended to be tampered with.
Didn't he hand you the keys? Didn't he hand me the keys?
And he kind of lets go of the
keys-
steering wheel and starts digging through the pocket.
The keys unlocked the trunk that this little package was in. So to get to the contents of this trunk, you kind of deduced that the second trunk is the key here. When he says that you can't get one without the other, this small box coincides with whatever small box they have.
Gotcha.
Son of a bitch.
We're coming up on her now, boys, so what are we going to do?
And this warehouse is a little bit different. This is a little bit closer to the water, so there's a lot more like large shipping containers that maybe have like shifted over and collided in with each other just from the bullshit that happens here in Cadians. There's like the remnants of a large crane that would be used to unload carrier ships for this kind of cargo. Obviously, years of disuse have not done any favors. Ultimately leading to a A much smaller warehouse than the one you've were recently at, but severely more fortified just in terms of debris and bullshit around. From your current position, you can't really tell if there's anything in the harbor, but if you roll up on the warehouse, you'll have a good idea of any kind of ships docked there. So I guess just to clarify, there's you can pretty much see like the top maybe 1/8 of this building as the shipping containers are kind of scattered around it, but you can see there's like a definite road leading up to this warehouse.
Pops cuts the lights again before they get onto this turnoff that heads towards this this warehouse, and he kind of slows down a little bit, hopefully to cut down some of the road dust and just to give themselves just a little bit more time since they still haven't come up with a plan yet. And he kind of looks around nervously.
What are we going to do? We just going in like last time? Guns blazing, shit flying everywhere, people getting shot.
And he kind of looks in the rearview mirror now at Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe would be like, "Oh shit, I forgot I had something." And he would like open up his pants and start digging in his crotch and pull out like 2 grenades out of like his whitey tighty.
Of all the places you could have stored those, that's where you chose? You are, and you're not just crazy, you're insane.
Hey, I didn't blow up. And then he would like take a like a whiff and he'd be like, "Oh god."
All right. Well, Pops,
Almost as bad as the socks.
Megaphone here, and Mouth will like click it. I can create a distraction. Why don't you leave Rex with me, and you and Crazy Joe can sneak around and get the care package.
Kind of looks at Crazy Joe again.
I just knew it was going to go down this way.
And he kind of finds a spot to pull over and let Rex and Mouth out if they want to get out.
You just want me to stand here and look pretty next to you?
Look, Rex, I need you back when they come and find us. I don't trust Crazy Joe.
I don't know if I would trust Rex either, but
You just stand there and be the big dwarf, right?
All right, so we're just going to stay here and wait, or you're just going to start talking?
Maybe we'll light a little fire. Try to spook them. I don't know.
You might want to be careful. He might wine and dine you.
It's true. I guess I'm not the first guy he's wooed.
Rex makes a cold look over to the guy strapped to the hood of the car.
All right, I guess here with my hood ornament, here we go. Are you ready?
He kind of looks at Crazy Joe.
He would be like trying to hand him the other grenades, see what he does.
I don't think there's enough hand sanitizer left on this island.
And he kind of turns around and gooses it a bit to pull away from the other two in the car. Start getting closer to the warehouse.
You guys are relatively close. It's kind of like a snake path built out of these containers to kind of keep vehicles away. And despite the fact that you're still a little bit ways down the path, people on foot can cut through these containers with relative ease. So you still creeping about, Mouth and Rex would be able to keep up for the most part.
All right, so we do that.
All right. The portrait in front of you is it's nighttime. There's like the faint glow of lights over top this shipping yard. For your presence being known, there's not much of a welcome party, which kind of surprises you. The standard Goodyear blimp with Archie's beautiful face on it is floating above you. What's your guys' plan here for? Yeah, of course, it is most definitely drizzling. It's been drizzling this whole time. But what is the overall plan here? So we got Mouth and Rex causing a distraction, so Pops and Crazy Joe can get inside. It's kind of the gist of it.
Sounds like. Let's do it.
So before actually getting inside, I would like each of you to kind of come up with like an obstacle or something that you are encountering here. Something you'd have to roll for. Challenge-wise, it doesn't really matter. Just something that your character would have to accomplish to get from A to B. Completely up to your discretion. Be as creative as possible.
I think for Pops, he gets to a certain place in this kind of maze of shipping containers where there's a little bit more choices and path and things kind of closer to the warehouse. And he kind of comes to a stop.
You hear that? Oh no, that's not good.
What do you hear?
He kind of puts the car in reverse and backs into an empty shipping container, like barely making it inside of it, with the side view mirrors on this car. And he kind of pulls all the way back into the dark, just as like this black SUV with like the paint peeling in certain places, like kind of rolls past outside on patrol.
I almost kind of picture like you know, the camera being in like the back seat of the car and like the silhouettes of you two and like the lights outside and like the grotesque silhouette of the wiry man who has at this point lost consciousness from blood loss. So it's kind of like a Gran Torino, like Jesus strapped to the car silhouette in front of you guys as this, you know, black SUV rolls by with, you know, a couple dudes hanging out the side of the door.
I was kind of going for a subtlety there.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Definitely seems like you were prepared, and probably an expert in just avoiding detection via vehicle. So I'm gonna say you definitely have 3 in this situation. I'm sure Pops has gotten away from the cops in a car at least once.
Okay, so I got 2 1s and a 6, and my subtlety is a 4. So that's 2 failures and 1 success.
So the car drives by and it's quiet for a second and you almost feel it coming. Something's about to happen. And right as you kind of like look up or look back from Crazy Joe, the chains on the hood of the car like pull taut, and this guy, he's back. He faded out for a second, and whatever drugs are fueling this guy right now have reawakened him, and he is screaming. And you hear the hard brakes of that SUV that was probably about 500 feet away now, and a hard peel. The scatter of, you know, dirt and stones hitting the containers as this thing is, you know, backing up. So Crazy Joe, what is an obstacle that you foresee right now that is something that you would have to roll for?
Well, as this SUV is like rolling to come down and shoot us down, I would imagine he would get ready to aim at some tires or something that would help it so they don't, you know, catch up to us.
Well, at this very moment, you guys are like backed into a shipping container. there is the guy screaming on the hood. I'm not trying to push you in that direction to kill him, but that is something to roll for. Something, you know, obstacle-wise. You can be prepared to shoot at these guys. What is something that, you know, is your seatbelt stuck? Are you, maybe your door won't open, or, you know, something like that.
There we go. My seatbelt's stuck, and I'm trying to get up there and like shut him up or knock him out or something.
All right, so I'm gonna say that's maybe an instinct or knowledge, force, grace kind of thing. Your discretion.
I'll use force.
Righto. So go ahead. You know, forcefully as possible. You're, you know, pulling at this seatbelt, trying to. Pops is making everyone wear the fucking seatbelts. So Crazy Joe is ripping on this seatbelt. So go ahead. I would say you're maybe even prepared and an expert if you've been kicking it with Pops for a bit. This kind of stuff probably happens frequently.
So 2 dice, or?
I'm gonna go ahead and give you the 3.
Oh shit. Well, I definitely got all 3 successes. So. I had an 8, and I got a 7, 1, and 1.
Fucking Rex would be proud. You know, the vein on your neck bulges as you don't even undo the buckle. You actually like bust the seam where it's connected to the seat. So fuck the seat belt. It no longer exists. You are fucking good to shut this dude up. And I mean, is that what you were trying to do? Is shoot him?
Yeah,
or
I pull out the seatbelt and I like wrap it around my hand and just like smack him in the face a few times with it until he finally passes out.
It doesn't take much. When I said that this guy is rather fragile, just 2 hits in the side of the face, and you feel an unnatural give in his face. Most people you've ever fought in their life have at least put up some resistance. This was like punching a sandbag. He is rendered unconscious by the blows of your fist.
Then I would look at Pops and I'd be like, I think this guy just shit himself.
As a undistinct colored liquid kind of rolls off the hood of the car. That brings us to Mouth and Rex, who were cutting through the containers. What are you guys? What is an obstacle that you guys have had to deal with in the few minutes you've been separated from the group?
Well, I think since we were kind of shadowing them, Rex kind of saw this as well. So he was actually focusing. Phil, are you talking to mute?
I'm not talking.
Oh, I saw your mouth moving. I thought you were talking. So I was thinking that Rex was going to try to negate the SUV. But on the other hand, there could have been a guard in the way that was just sitting in between one of the containers.
Yeah, that's completely up to you in this particular instance.
Yeah, I think it should be that we try to like distract the SUV away from them.
So Rex just, as he notices the thing that the guy start to peel out, he kind of obviously their attention is on the shipping container, so he runs up alongside and as it stops or gets closer to the shipping container, it stops. He opens the passenger door, punches the guy across the face, and then puts the gun on the other guy.
I'm gonna say that's a force.
Okay.
Or control.
Speed?
Yeah, could definitely be speed. I would say you can have all 3 in this situation because you're probably prepared and an expert at
All right, so my speed is 2, and I got a 2, a 4, and a 4.
So you have 3 successes. So yeah, you fucking practically rip this door off the hinges as you're getting a hold of this other guy, beating his ass, and putting the gun on the driver.
I would imagine I could just cold cock the guy and then leveled the gun on the other guy and just say, "Don't fucking move."
And he's not fucking moving. But getting a fame point, you hear Archie come on the loud screen above. Well, hot damn if Rex isn't on fire, ripping doors off and breaking necks. Now, we got another caller in here that'd like to send him a care package. And I'll take another volunteer. Well, Philip, the name of the game is whatever you want this person to be. It's a fan of Rex, and you can come up with them and the item they send him.
Hello, Rex. This is Megan, and I was just calling because I think that you're so awesome. You're big and tough and muscles. Oh, I love your muscles. Anyway, think that I really wanted you to have this special gift because I think that you could use it wisely. Here you go. And Megan is going to go ahead and send like just a little multi-tool, you know, like a Swiss Army knife. Megan's practical.
Sweet and thoughtful.
This thing is like the size of Rex's palm. He can't even like functionally hold it.
Yeah,
use
totally
it.
tiny. Like you need to have the sharp fingernails to even pull the blade out.
You know, Rex looks at his fingers and they're just like basically bludgeoning weapons themselves.
It probably has like the
there isn't even
plastic on the
fingernails.
side where it was like hers, you know. It was the most manly thing that Megan had, and she was like, "This is what Rex would want."
Like Rex isn't gonna fix anything. He's gonna rip it apart. Why
But
did
it
you send me?
smells sweet. It's got the remnants of perfume on it. But Rex is not enthused at this very moment because the attention was not something he wanted at this point. He's like, I didn't need all this right now. He's thinking that.
And while you have, you know, the driver at gunpoint and his passengers knocked out, you hear that same like cannon noise. Maybe actually it's a drone this time. You hear the kind of come up right next to you, and it drops this little package, you know, at your feet, and out of it's, you know, this tiny little multi-tool. And
I'll get that in a minute.
yeah, if you are all good, Mouth, what are you doing now that Rex has these guys at gunpoint?
So basically, Mouth wants to see if there's an SUV, so it's probably got like a sunroof on it, and he wants to probably try to climb up on top of the sunroof and then jump into the back and knock the guys out in the back.
What kind of role would you see that as?
Maybe Grace, or yeah, probably Grace.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Because it's
give
not
you the
force.
3. Well, definitely, it could definitely be a Grace if that's the way you want to roll it. Definitely give you 3 on this one as well, and depending on how you roll, I will determine your outcome.
I rolled a 1 and 2 7s, and my Grace is 5.
So 2 successes.
Yeah.
So as you hop on top of this SUV, you actually notice that there's something odd about this sunroof. Is it kind of like there's the glass panel of the sunroof, but there's also like an odd like weld that goes along the top and out the bottom. And as you hop on, you can almost see like a quick release lever that you may or may not intentionally hit. And instead of hitting it, there isn't anybody in the back of this vehicle. But hopping in the way you did has hit the quick release on this hatch that flips off the back of this SUV. And there is a very large mounted machine gun chilling in the back of this SUV that you guys very well may have control over now.
Hey, check this out, Rex. Ain't this great?
And I almost picture you probably have like the bandoilers of these fucking shells just like in a dress, a toga on you now, just from diving into the pile in the back seat.
Yeah,
Plenty
right
of
after.
ammunition. Plenty.
Sweet.
Nice. But I
So
think you're driving.
Yeah, sure, I'll drive. You come back here. I can't even lift this thing.
And I tell the other guy, get out.
And he kind of like, what do you mean, get out?
Put it in park and get out of the fucking truck.
He like the crank of the gear shift and, okay, man.
And at that point, I
You know
dragged.
the lieutenant's here. You're fucking with the wrong people. If you got what he's after, he'll get you. He like opens
Why are
the
you
door.
still talking? As I pull the guy out, walk around to the other side, and basically just take the butt of the rifle and then just wipe it across his face.
He like smacks into the car and like hits the ground, knocked unconscious. I'm not gonna make you roll for that. You're fucking huge.
And so I will then get in the back with the gun and the bandoliers, and then let Mouth take the driver's seat.
And
Mouth
you kind of
just wants to like back it up a little bit, since the SUV wasn't so far from the like shipping cargo that Pops is in, and he wants to kind of like back it up so that the headlights are just shining right in there, and then he'll step out and be like, I brought you a treat, Pops.
Pops has been kind of freaking out that they came back. Is kind of trying to climb over the back seat, trying to figure out a way to get out of this death trap that he's found themselves in. And then he hears your voice, Mouth, and he kind of stops.
What? What are you talking about?
And he kind of scrambles out of between the window and the shipping container. And he's like he has to try like 3 different ways before he can actually figure out how to fit his body out of this window. And he kind of comes out holding his hand up against the headlights.
What you got?
Check this baby out. And Mouth, like, does the ta-da Vanna White. And I'm sure Rex is kind of just like, yeah, like posing.
Is it a 50 caliber, you said?
Yeah, absolutely.
Pops kind of looks it over.
This is a Ford Bronco.
And he kind of starts like running his hand down the hood.
Yeah, I think that's a V12 in there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's got a hitch on the front. Oh, this will do nice.
Is that a 50 cal in your pocket, or are you just happy to see them?
He's definitely geeking out.
You want me to drive this fine piece of machinery?
Merry Christmas, Pops.
Oh,
He kind of tears up.
I think this is the nicest thing that anybody's ever given to me. All this smoke is kind of bad for me. It makes my eyes water, as you can plainly see. because I do not get emotional.
And he kind of climbs in the driver's seat.
You've been in here too long, old man.
So Joe would start climbing out of the car so he can get out of there. But then he would be like, you know what? Give me a second. And he would get up above the car and he would have like his hand on the dude's forehead. And he would be like just talking to him. Be like, you know, you're kind of a whiny bitch, but I kind of miss your mouth. But I don't know, man. It's like you're gonna fuck it up for us, like. So he'd be here like contemplating for a second, and then he would like look at everybody, he'd be like, "Can you guys turn around for a second?" And then he would just like, and then walk back to the
You're
car.
talking about the wiry guy on the car, right? The hood of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So yeah, he just like snap the deck and just slowly make it to the car like nothing happened.
As he's doing so, Pops kind of turns around and over his shoulder to Rex.
You realize someday we're going to have to put that boy down, don't you?
Yeah. I'm not really looking forward to the day. It's strange, too, because when we first met him, I thought about it all the time.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to have trouble sleeping at night, to tell you the truth.
It's mouth that does that to me.
He talks in his sleep.
So as of right now, you guys are fucking squatted up in this fucking Ford Bronco with an M50 or 50 cal mounted to the back. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm thinking that they're familiar with the truck and they're going to expect it to come back from patrol. So we may be able to roll in.
Yeah, let's try to put the top back on it so they don't suspect anything. And then right when we roll in, boom, pop it off. And boom,
You've actually
plow,
seen,
plow, plow.
You've actually seen vehicles like this, and they come. The top on, top off is kind of just a gimmick. Putting it back on wouldn't be necessary, should you want to skip that step.
Okay, I see.
But other than that, yeah, you're on the right direction. Fucking, they're all retarded inmates. They know that you guys are driving the car, so you should probably be here.
All right, so we're going to sneak in, all quiet like and with subterfuge. Fine, that sounds like a fine plan, but I'm not wearing any of their damn clothes. They're tacky, if you ask me.
Studded leather.
Yeah, I almost expected you to start dancing in that spotlight there.
I don't prefer the limelight, to tell you the truth. All these flying cameras and people watching me makes me uneasy. But if we're going to do this, then we better do it. We better do it now. Any last requests?
He kind of cranks the engine up.
And as if anyone doesn't have anything else, I'm kind of jumping us along a little bit for the sake of time. You guys have managed to approach the checkpoint, if you will, and there's just the one guard at the post with like the striped gate that goes up and down. What happened to your top?
Sometimes I like to take my top off, drive around. It's not kind of a nice night out. Oh, I give up. Somebody do something about this.
He like puts his hand out as it's drizzling still. Nice night.
Wait, will somebody do something about this young man here who's giving me lip?
Sassing me, boy.
Oh, fine, I'll do it.
He kind of very quickly opens the door as fast as he can to just jock the guy like right in the face.
You wanna? Is that a speed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah. That's a 3 days. Pretty much, if you're using a car, I picture you being a proficient,
All right.
prepared, and an expert.
He's good with the doors. He's good with the mirrors. He's good with the wheels.
Yeah, he's gonna like break the mirror off and like crunch it up into like throwing glass. Oh yeah, you're proficient. It's car related, so.
Okay. I got a 1, a 5, and a 6. And my speed is a 3. So I got 2 successes.
2 successes. Yeah, you definitely managed to like slam this guy, and he gets like pinched in between the booth and your door. So it's not so much like a bludgeoning as it is like parts of him are like being pinched uncomfortably between 2 metal surfaces, which without even a lot of pressure, that fucking hurts. So he kind of like, ugh, and then like falls to the ground and is like kind of trying to get back up as you guys, peel off. I guess not necessarily peel off, that's at your discretion, are able to get through this gate.
Rex just kind of leans down and says, I thought we were going quietly, so that was the best.
At this moment in time, there hasn't been any kind of alarm raised. You kind of neutralize this guard relatively quietly.
Yeah, I think with the door still open, Pops might kind of reach through the open window, kind of just around the inside of the door until he can find like the button that raises the bar. He's going to press that, and then he's just going to grab the bundle of wires that's kind of sticking out of the bottom of it and just pull them out as hard as he can.
Do you want to do a force roll for that, or
Sure.
maybe a knowledge?
Knowledge would be terrible for Pops. Force isn't a lot better.
I
would definitely prefer force.
It's at your discretion. It could be control.
Yeah, I think force would work. So I'm thinking maybe just the 1 die, though. This is certainly not his field of expertise. And he's definitely not prepared.
We don't really have a techie guy here, so probably just the 1.
All right, here we go. All right, so my force is a 6, and I rolled a 7. So there's 0 successes.
So you almost like pull yourself out of the car by doing this. Maybe just pulling ahead as you were doing it, trying to use the force of the car to pull it out, and like almost jerking yourself out. And I almost picture like Rex like grabbing you by like the waist of your pants to like, I don't think so. Get you back in here.
Well, they attach them wires really well, I'll tell you what.
I don't know if you they're like I guess sorry, never mind. As you approach this building, there are the occasional guard on tops of the shipping containers, but as you guys approach, you can see that they have like a truck backed up to one of the doors. And now that you are in sight of the building, you can see off to the east, northeast, there is a large shipping vessel that appears to have been salvaged. It's very hodgepodge and definitely not something that has been brought in. This is something that's been here, and they're probably trying to utilize it to get out. And I mean, for the most part, you just see these guys by this truck. And more so in your approach rather than taking time to look at it, you see that 2 of these guys are carrying a large crate to the back of this truck.
Does it look like it's the same material as the other one?
Just with the lighting, it's hard to tell. But with as flashy and reflective it is, if you took a roll of the dice, you'd probably say that that's what you're looking for.
You boys see that? That chrome box there?
Yeah, I see it. You want me to try to pretend I'm that guy again? And Mouth kind of like clicks the megaphone.
I think that train left the station.
Yeah, you're right.
I still got my grenades.
And it could be a trap.
We don't want to destroy the box.
Joe might.
You want to throw
Joe
one of
wants
your
to destroy it.
Yeah, you maybe instead of destroying the guys with the box in the back, maybe you could throw that grenade near the front of that car. Make sure it doesn't get anywhere real fast. You know, one of your scrotum explosion things you've got there.
All right. Do you want to pull up in like a corner or something? That way we're not, in the middle.
Sure, yeah. I'll find you a good spot. Right over there. Here we go.
For the record, that that machine gun on the back of the SUV, that has I would probably say like a 180-degree field of motion facing from the back. You cannot fire from the front towards the front. Just positioning the vehicle, it wouldn't clear it appropriately with the barrel sitting at the top. So I'm gonna say that yeah, this is kind of like a rear-facing machine gun, in my mind at least.
Yeah. So once I imagine we're in that corner right now, right? All right. Joe would be like, "All right, I'll be right back. If you don't hear from me, just go." And he would like step out, go around the corner. You would see him take out one of the grenades, and he'd be like, he would lick one of his fingers. He would be putting it up, trying to measure, and then he would just.
All right. Well, I picture that as a flare in my mind. Flare control, force maybe. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely do control.
Righto. Just with the form and technique alone, you are able to lob this grenade. I wouldn't say you're an expert, but you're probably prepared. You're probably prepared and proficient in throwing grenades. So I'm gonna say 2 dice.
Whew. All right, cool. I got a 9 control, and I got a 6 and a 3.
So 2 successes.
Yep.
Go ahead and describe for us this how that scene plays out. You toss the grenade. What the hell happens?
I can see him like toss the grenade and then like lands on top of the car. So they turn around and all of a sudden it just starts rolling down the car until it's about to hit the hood, like the front of the hood. All of a sudden, guys flying everywhere. Like half of the truck is pretty much blew up.
I picture just like standard truck explosion for an action movie where it like shoots into the air, like no physics related whatsoever. It's just way more explosion than
That
like this car somehow managed to quadruple this explosion, and like everybody that was behind the truck got hit with the fireball that erupted from this truck, and it like kind of rolled over into the building, and you see the confusion of like where the hell did this fucking explosion come from. Where are my dice? I'm gonna roll a 1d4, and whoever I roll is going to pops. As this explosion ignites and illuminates the area, there's a face that catches your attention. And like you said earlier, it makes your blood run cold. It brings a chill to your spine. But it also brings a heat of hatred and rage as you see the person responsible for your betrayal, the lieutenant. And this guy, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Avatar, the movie Avatar, not the shitty M. Night Shyamalan last time, whatever. This is like, you know, the colonel. He's got like the scar over his eye, like basically like Chip Hazard from Small Soldiers. Just the cookie cutter military mercenary, you know, machine gun, flak jacket, camo pants, black leather boots, the earpiece. Of course, you know, he's got the big scar over his eye. He's smoking a cigar, and he makes eye contact with you. What is something that goes through your mind? What is a memory you have with this guy, or why you hate him so much?
I think we flash back, and this guy is still there, same angle, same lighting, but he's younger, and he doesn't have the scar over his eye. And he's got the detonator, like the plunger, to a bundle of dynamite. And Pops is kind of standing there with him.
It doesn't have to go down this way.
Pops is still old in this sometimes past. Sometime in the past that we're seeing.
It doesn't have to go down like this. You know, we can negotiate with them if we wanted to.
And then he says, "No, it ain't gonna happen." And then he just pulls the plunger home, and Pops and him start scrapping with each other, just fist fighting. And Pops manages to grab a piece of rebar and swings it up and actually just gouges him right over his eye. And about that time, he actually pulls out a gun and shoots Pops right in the shoulder. That's it.
And like the camera like pans over to the pool of red blood, like coming out of Pops's shoulder, and it kind of like comes back to like the bloodshot red of his eyes as he's looking at the lieutenant. And as he sees you, he kind of like, you know, shoulders his gun a little bit, maybe like pulls at his face and like gives a couple hand gestures, and like two more guys run up and like grab the case, and they're like dragging it inside this building. So what do you plan to do next?
So is this within line? This they're pulling it, and can I swivel to fire on him?
I would say so for sure.
That's what I'm going to do.
Expertise wise, I'm not sure how proficient you are with a mounted 50 cal. But you probably have been ready for this moment since you got into the gunner seat. So
Okay.
what kind of role would you say this is?
Yeah, I think I'm doing force at this point. And granted, not an expert with a 50 cal, but ready for the moment. So 2 dice.
Yes, sir.
So my force is a 7, and I rolled a 1 and a 9.
So 1 success, 1 failure.
Yeah.
So as you kind of like spray the area, you see like the dust clouds hitting from where it's peppering the ground, and one of these guys holding the care package, it basically erupts a red steam of smoke of mist from these bullet wounds that are tearing him apart. And the other guy is kind of like tucking himself down beneath the care package, and you see like the sparks and the ting 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 as like the few rounds that would have probably killed him managed to reflect off of this care package. And you see the lieutenant, who kind of had like a guy next to him, and as he sees you opening fire, he kind of like grabs this dude by like the back of his shirt and like pulls him in front of him, and you see this guy like the same grotesque movements, and he like throws him to the ground and like grabs the other side of the container with this guy and helps him pull it in the rest of the way.
So, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
No,
Nope.
please.
So I was going to say, basically, as like the dust kind of like is dissipating, and I can see you said it's the colonel, like
Lieutenant.
Sorry, the lieutenant. That's right. Much lower rank.
It matters.
Yeah, yeah. So the lieutenant, who's pulling the box, at this point, Mouth wants to get on his megaphone and try to persuade the other people to start pulling bucks towards them. You guys know this is over. Why don't you pull that box on over to us, and we'll make sure you're taken care of.
I would say I'm gonna give you 3 on that one. You're probably the smoothest talker out of the bunch.
Is it going to be intimidation or charm?
It sounded kind of intimidating.
Yeah, it did sound
Me?
intimidating. It sounded intimidating to me.
Like there wasn't any like
No,
wine and dine here. No cigarette
No.
for you before sex. This is
no, this is like they're going to die.
bite the pillow.
So we'll see how this goes, guys. Ooh, interesting. I rolled a 3, a 4, and an 8, and the 3 is the same as my score for intimidation. So that'd be 3 failures. But I rolled the.
So Archie comes on the screen again, and he kind of like, well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I've ever heard anything fucking quite as ridiculous as that. He just asked them to hand over the care package. And as you can see, it didn't work. But we got a caller. Jose or Dave, you have not been a caller yet. So 50-50. Who wants to go?
So how much did he succeed? He definitely got a really good success on that, or a really pitiful one?
He got 1 success by hitting his number, but the other 2 were failures. So he ultimately failed in trying to charm these guys to bring the package to you guys. But the crowd loves him. So basically, I just am looking for you to come up with a personality that has sent him a care package and what's inside.
All right. Wow, man. I have learned so much from watching The Mouth. I just got to give him props. I'm serious. The guy really can talk. And, you know, from me, Mark Goodman, I am going to impart to you my lucky rabbit's foot. So, there you go, Mouth. I hope it does as much luck as it gives you as much luck as it's given me.
Mark Goodwin, fuck you!
So the same sound that you heard before when Mouth got a care package, that the original like mega t-shirt cannon, you hear the same like poof, and out of I guess not nowhere, but relatively close to where you all are as a group. This steel box like wedges itself deep into a shipping container, like mildly cometized into the side of this container, and the lid pops open, and you know, on this like small satin pillow is this lucky rabbit's foot.
God damn it, Mark. You knew I could have used something better. Fuck you.
You got the satin pillow. That's too much.
What you got? You got a rabbit's foot? Oh, damn, them are lucky.
Yeah, thanks, Pops.
You're welcome.
So on that note, you would see Crazy Joe like running back to the car and like trying to jump through the window, and he would be like, "Oh, was that rabbit?" And he would like grab it and try to put it in his mouth.
You can have it.
So as of right now, there are a few scattered guards here and there outside, kind of like ducking in cover in fear from Rex on this this turret here. But the lieutenant and his buddy have managed to successfully been pulled inside this warehouse.
So who hasn't acted yet?
Pops?
I think Pops and Crazy Joe are up for some action.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've opened fire on them. We killed a few. The explosion's gone off. So Pops is definitely kind of making a kind of a wide arc around this this area where they disappeared into the warehouse, trying to look for a place where he can kind of drive the car through and possibly get give the gunner access again.
So as you kind of sweep the perimeter, giving Rex a more ideal range of vision, he does manage to pick off a few more guards. It's definitely starting to quiet down outside. You haven't seen the lieutenant and his buddy come out from this building since they've gone in.
What kind of door is blocking the entrance there?
Or
did he go through? I mean, how reinforced does it look?
From this angle, it just looks like a standard like roll-up door, like chain roll-up. So like a corrugated steel mesh almost.
Okay.
Not
Sorry, I cut off
obnoxiously thick. It's not like crazy thick. You could definitely drive through it. You could definitely probably break through it. Just from the one side, it's rather difficult to kind of open by hands.
So I imagine that this Bronco might have like one of those pipe welded guards on the front of the grill, you know, painted black so that it matches the rest of it, or at least did it one time. And he's going to kind of look over at Rex.
So, seems like the theme of the evening is to be taking doors off their hinges.
And he kind of cracks his shoulders a little bit.
I reckon it might be my time. What do you think? Should we do it your way?
Let's do it. Maybe with that lucky rabbit's foot, we'll get even further this time.
Oh, there you go. Here we go. All right.
He's going to shift it into a
crazy fuckers.
higher gear, and he's going to, again, pedal to the metal straight for that door.
Crazy Joe would like grab the guardrail thing. He just like holding on to his dear life.
the railing that's installed, so when you're driving with your mom, she can hold on to it as you're going 5 miles over. Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy, I'm going to say that's probably speed.
Smashing invisible brakes.
No, yeah, like I said, definitely would say that's a speed or a force.
I'm gonna go with force on this one, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 dice.
Yeah, just because, well, 2 or 3. You're an expert in driving, and you're prepared to ram a door, especially just with the vehicle. I'm gonna say 3.
Okay.
Maybe one of these times I'll just give you 1. I'm not playing favorites, I promise.
I got a 1 and a 2 and a 6. And my force is a 6.
So 3 successes.
And
And a care package.
care package.
So that's actually kind of perfect because we're running into the end here. Jose hasn't got to be a personality yet. So we'll resolve the action, and then we'll get to the care package. So basically, as you're whipping around, kind of clearing the perimeter and area outside this warehouse of guards via the turret back of the Bronco, you see that this door, the ramp leading up to it where this truck used to be before it was exploded off the pathway, this is where they were loading it up and where they dragged it back in. And in your experience, cars can go through these. So as you floor it, you might even like kind of clip a body and hit it up at an angle to like cause the entire vehicle to go through this door at an odd airborne angle, crashing through the door, and like skidding on the side. And I would imagine if Rex is on the gun, he's probably just holding him up with just sheer force of strength and will. Who needs a seatbelt when you are strapped to a 50 cal? But for the most part, I would say you are all intact with just the level of success you had. Now your care package. Archie comes on the screen, and well, I'll be damned if this isn't a good episode tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've had explosions, we've had door removals, we've had people shitting their pants. We've got one more care package for the evening. This comes to you live from, and Jose, you can come up with a personality. All I need is for what's inside the care package when you're done.
Great. Just so you hear this guy like humming the thing, and it's like, he's wearing like a cowboy hat, and he's like, "Sweet, I love watching Pops. I've been watching him for a long time. It's like watching Dukes of Hazzard. I really love watching Pops. He's a real hard ass." And then he's like, "Here you go," and he would take off his hat, and that's what he's gonna send them. It's like his cowboy hat.
And you hear Archie kind of snicker like, man, these guys really aren't helping you guys out too much tonight, are they? And there's no drone, there's no cannon. You just see like this lone cowboy hat kind of fall into view, like landing right on the hood or like maybe even the wheel well of this upturned truck. Like you guys kind of like blew through this drone as you fucking blew through the door.
Pops has kind of climbed out of the side of this Bronco. Luckily, the roof was off, so it was a little bit easier. And he kind of walks up to where this cowboy hat is dropped, and he kind of just shakes his head and turns and walks away. And I think the camera might stay with the cowboy hat. And then you see Pops kind of come back and grab it. Damn it. And he puts it on.
I was actually going to say, like, when you put it on, you feel something. And pretty much in the inside on the side, there's like a small little gun that has like one shot.
What the? Oh, this is the most uncomfortable hat I've ever put on. Oh. Well, would you look at there? That's a little ace up my sleeve.
And he puts the hat on.
You guys are all kind of like crawling off the Bronco. The turret's fucked. As you guys kind of came in the door, clipped the cement railing and was ripped asunder, basically. But in front of you is probably a half a dozen armed guards, and standing behind them with his foot, leather boot on top of the care package is your favorite person, Lieutenant. And before you guys even get a chance to stand up, you see like his hand drop. I need for each one of you to come up with your method or your process of not getting shot, and how well you succeed in doing it.
So
And
as the vehicle is rolled over onto its side and just literally the 50 cal has been knocked off its mount, Rex is kind of fallen prone next to it, and he actually grabs the 50 caliber up and ducks behind the Bronco and for cover as he flips open the hatch, reloads, and then picks up the 50 caliber and basically prepares to walk around the outside of it with the 50 caliber to unleash on these guys after he's using the Bronco for protection at this point. So you want me to
this weapon and getting cover, what kind of roll would you say that is?
Kind of thinking that it's
control, maybe speed.
I think it's speed at this point because we're
it's
about
a quick
to unload
reaction.
on him, so yeah, and he's taken fire before, so I wouldn't say he's prepared, but he's familiar.
He's probably an expert in at least getting the hell out of a vehicle that's upturned.
Right. So he got a 2 and a 9. A 2 is his speed.
All right, so we're getting a surprise care package. So is that how many successes? I'm sorry, I missed the second number.
So speed of 2, and I got a 2 and a 9. So is the 9 a success?
2 successes.
Yes.
Yeah. So for the sake of mechanics, each one of you getting fired at will ultimately be kind of going against 3 successes. So Dave, you got 2 successes, which means you still took 1 hit die of damage. So if you can roll a d10 to see if you go down to a d8.
Okay, I got a 6.
So yeah, you're clear. You either were missed or surface injury again.
Yeah, I would imagine that some of the shrapnel off the Bronco is actually pelting his head, his bald head, and he's like, fuck, and he's trying to load this thing as he's doing it.
And that makes sense to everybody, right? I know, having played this a few times, it makes sense to me. But, all right. So if no questions on that, Philip, I kind of want to do the package. So this is a familiar face to Acid Rain, Cadian's Keep. This is a group of sorority girls that frequently send care packages to the show. And this time, this is Bridget. She is a pre-med major at this particular college, and the camera kind of shows like this spring break kind of scene, a bunch of people partying. There's, people doing obscene gestures and acts in the background, and Bridget, oh my God, Rex, we love you. We love you so much. You're gonna do great. Kill him for us. We love you. And the care package that kind of like rolls in on a little motorized drone flips open, and it is full of women's panties and vodka, to which you do with whatever you please.
God damn it, Rex! You have the best fans.
Yeah, but I don't wear panties anymore. I mean, just ignore that.
I've been in here too long. That's what you're telling me. I've been in here too long. Look,
Maybe afterwards we can all have some vodka and maybe share panties. I don't.
oh, good Lord. He kind of reaches over. Look, you just take these things, these
They would
cotton
make
ones especially.
excellent Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, you take the cotton ones and you just stuff them in here. You got little bombs.
Dave, if I could give you an inspiration point, I would. That was too funny.
I'm gonna fall out of my chair laughing. Sorry.
So yeah, you are currently in a similar situation, except for now outfitted with women's panties. Or men's panties. I guess they're gender neutral panties.
Who else was dodging?
Everybody, so whoever's next.
So, Crazy Joe being a little crazy and not all there, he would just like drop in the ground and grab his foot and start going, rolling in circles.
Would you say that is a flare or an intimidation? Or
I'll take a flare, sure.
so yeah, I would say there's even like a spotlight on you as this is happening. Like a motion detector spotlight that somehow is just like locked onto you rolling around the ground. Expert, I don't think so. And prepared, probably not. So I'm gonna say 1 die.
Alright, so my flare is 8 and I got an 8.
All right, Philip, your wish came true. You get to do the next care package. Actually, if Dave is taking a second, I gotta run to the bathroom real quick too. So we can take a quick fiver. Philip, come up with your
Gotcha.
person. We'll be right back.
Gotcha.
No, Dave, you didn't force one. It just happened to be convenient for everybody.
Cool.
I also was laughing really, really hard. But man, I'm fucking so stoked with how forthcoming the RP has been in this game. It's been fun as shit.
Crazy. Just got to get crazy and let it roll.
This is a cool setting for that because it's all over the top. Be as outrageous as possible. Maintaining a level of action. You're good to go. Philip and Jeremy. I only got a little bit left. I'm trying to wrap this up by 12 so I can get an adequate amount of sleep for work tomorrow. So ideally, we'll be
Cool.
hauling her into the station here. So far, people that have dodged are Rex and Crazy Joe. So we still need to dodge from Pops and Mouse.
All right, since we're waiting on Philip to get back, I can go ahead if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Pops is definitely going to be trying to take cover behind the Bronco as well. I think he kind of comes around from the other side, having just put this cowboy hat on. And then I think there's like several bullets that pass through like the brim of the hat and things. And as he kind of jumps behind this this overturned Bronco, and he finds Rex there.
Why don't you save some room for everyone else?
Save some room.
Yes, you're the size of a car yourself. You're standing back behind here. You're not leaving much room for everyone else to hide behind here.
As he's kind of ducking by these bullets flying overhead.
Wow. Listen to you bellyache. Takes a lot of effort to keep this physique. You don't have to be jealous and, whine at me about it.
Bellyaching. Well, some people just aren't born the way you are, with freakish genes and steroids pumping through our veins from the day that we're suckling at our mama's teats.
Rex actually looks over you with a very straight face and he says, steroids. I do not take steroids. This is all natural.
Oh,
Including the length.
oh my God, you have been here a long time. We'll file that away under the too much information drawer.
What would you like for me to roll, Baron?
Control, speed, maybe instinct.
Ooh, I like instinct. I like instinct a lot, actually.
I just kind of picture you being able to identify a spot that bullets might not be as prone to pass through in a vehicle. Expert, yeah. Probably prepared, no.
All right, so 2 dice coming up.
I was thinking Grace, considering he's whining about how much room he has.
It could be Grace if he's a
You mean that's not charm? Okay, so my instinct is an 8, and I rolled a 6 and an 8.
Damn, care package is flying out in this last part. Philip, you said you wanted to do one? I think we had one for Jose.
Yeah, I think Crazy Joe had rolled one as well.
So if you want to come up with another one, and floor is open to whomever would like to do the next one. Obviously not Jeremy because it's his. So, I mean, I can do another one. Don't matter to me.
Yeah, I have one for Jose. I think you said I can do. So if you want to do one for Jeremy.
Yep, can do. Go ahead. And at the moment, Crazy Joe is kind of rolling around on the ground.
So, oh, my bad.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say he would just keep rolling until he would hit like a pole or something that he could like, you know, get some cover and just stay there still.
So, what exactly, or whom exactly, rather, is trying to get a hold of Crazy Joe, Philip?
Hey, Crazy Joe, it's Crazy Jim. Well, I'm a big fan of yours, obviously, and I figured I'd send you my favorite trick, and that way you can try to use it. And this care package is probably a drone that comes in, and it's going to drop a rat with a bomb attached to it, as well as like a piece of cheese that's like, you know, attached to the rat that you can kind of
Like attached to a string that hangs in front of the mouse.
exactly.
Crazy Jim, shut the fuck up.
Big fan.
Crazy Joe would be like, thanks.
Crazy Jim, yeah. All right, the other care package. Pops. It wouldn't be funny to do like Ma now. So this one.
Give him some
What's
Geritol.
that? This one is from. This is actually from Pops' son, whom he hasn't seen in a long, long time. Hey, Dad. Know it's been a while. You know how it is. We're doing all right. Figured I'd send you something. Use it on yourself if you like. And this care package drops similar to like the Canon one before. It's kind of just like a steel case that kind of makes its way in front of you, and it flips open, and that handgun that you received in the hat had 1 round, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This has got 5 more rounds for it, but it's also got a picture of your family before you left. And in the background of this picture is your good friend lieutenant, whom
Yeah, I think it's like a family
somehow,
barbecue.
yeah, related to you somehow.
Yeah, I think it's like a family barbecue, and maybe they actually served in the military together, and they grew close. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that family relation's up to you.
Yeah, I like it. Like really close friend of the family. So he's gonna kind of be staring at the screen on the side of the blimp where his son's face was, and he's tearing up again, and he's gonna turn to Rex, and he's gonna say, "That was my boy Franklin. He's sending me something to take care of me."
And now that I think about it, you take a glance at these rounds that are in this case, and they have a name written on each one. And it's for every member of your family that is no longer with you because of the betrayal brought on by the lieutenant.
So I think they actually might be the names of other soldiers from our platoon that, like, whenever he did this betrayal, that it actually cost them their lives.
Savage, this got raw real quick.
Yeah, I think it's got their names and then like their dog tag numbers on it.
It's the smelted dog tags. All right, so last but not least is Mouth, trying to avoid the bullet spray. So how would you go about dodging this?
So I imagine Mouth is probably going to try and just run/tumble to the side of the building so that he can like completely get behind Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's either instinct, grace, or speed.
Yeah, let's do speed,
I'm hoping
because I
Sync
feel
just
like
jumps at
he's
that,
just, yeah, I think speed, because he's just running for his life, but he is not prepared, and this is not like his forte.
right. So, one die, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, and I'm trying to roll above it, right, because it's a left-hand
Correct.
trait.
And Jeremy, how many successes did you say you had? You had 2, I believe.
I think it was
I want
2.
to say you had 2. Go ahead and roll your damage die once. Philip, what was your roll?
I rolled a 1.
And you needed
And
to roll
that's
above.
4.
So go ahead. You got hit
Yeah,
in
hard.
your mad dash for cover. You got hit.
Not very smart mouth.
So go ahead and roll your hit die 3 times. The first roll the
3d10.
D10. Yep. Unless you roll a 1 or a 2 on the first 2, then it would go down.
9 and 8 and 6.
So yeah, probably surface wounds or
23.
grazing. So you definitely managed to avoid dying, which is ideal.
Okay. Whew. He's definitely hurt. And his fucking favorite bowling shirt now has a bunch of goddamn holes in it.
So I'm gonna let you guys go on the offensive here. There's about 6 guards and the lieutenant himself kind of chilling over this crate. I'm gonna let you guys be as theatrical or thematic as you want for this particular scene. So go over the top. Try and be as dramatic.
So this all kind of
as
happened at
possible.
the same time. So, I mean, right after Pops got his care package, Rex looked over at him and says, "You had a fucked up family there, brother."
You come from someplace normal. That's what you're telling me.
Well, yeah, all natural. I told you. and he looks over at Joe and he says, "They're smooth, form-fitting. Don't talk about it." The shirt was already dirty, mouth, and he comes around the corner and he just starts screaming as he sprays this 50 caliber. He was ready, and at this point he's going with flare.
I definitely say that you're probably an expert in this over the top behavior at this point. So 3 die.
All right, so I got a 1, a 4, and actually a 6, which is my flare. So
God damn it.
so I'm just standing there just screaming as I'm spraying these guys with a 50 caliber machine gun, trying to avoid the care package, of course.
And as you're screaming, you hear like the faint scream of Archie on the blimp above, like, "Ah, this shit's sick." Who wants to go for this next care package?
Looks like Jose raised his hand. Go for it, Jose.
Yeah, get in there.
So who's getting that care package?
Rex,
Alright.
who has quite a few adoring fans, apparently. Is a crowd favorite.
So the blimp would change and you see this other girl named we'll say her name is Ashley. She's like, "Oh my god, Rex, I really love you. You're so strong. I can't wait to see you kill somebody with this." And she would send them like a bat with like spikes and barbed wire and stuff with it.
So this care package arrives kind of like a bouquet of flowers. Like there's like this automated bicycle drone that rides up with like this bouquet of flowers that kind of fall away and reveal this like blunt, savage weapon.
Very
Rex has
cool.
quite the bevy of female fans.
Are you ready to feel the pump? You younger guys might not get that. All right, who's next?
Okay, so
Baron, you're muted.
I think I was just talking for like the last 5 minutes. So I kind of picture like all this stuff happening simultaneously. So Rex, you did successfully kill some guards, but I want to kind of determine how many are left at the end, rather than.
So I think Pops looks over from out from behind the. Actually, he looks from underneath the front carriage of the Bronco and kind of through the grill, and he actually notices a inconspicuous stack of gasoline drums off to one side, and there happens to be 3 or 4 gunmen kind of standing near enough to them that he thinks that might make a good place to shoot. And he's going to kind of lean out for a second and pull one of those MP5s out and just he's just going to unleash a hail of bullets in that direction.
What kind of role would you say that is?
Possibly a force.
I could see a force or speed, maybe instinct.
Yeah, I would say force or instinct is probably what I'd like to go with.
I know when I see flammable things and I have a gun, it is 100% instinct to shoot that shit.
The instinct it is. All right. So 2 dice or
yeah, I would probably say 2. You were prepared, but you're probably not an expert. So I picture Pops as the getaway driver.
okay,
If
my
you got a
instinct,
fucking care package, I swear to God.
my instinct is an 8, and I rolled not 1,
All right, well, you get 0
2
care packages.
2 9s.
Oh, okay. What was I gonna say?
So that is unfortunately 2 failures.
So, So as you're spraying these guys, despite the fact that you failed, you still manage to hit these barrels and they explode, and your attention isn't directly on the lieutenant. And he's walking directly at you, and he pulls out his handgun and he's firing at you right now. God damn it, Pops! I thought you were dead. And he's firing at you. So, go ahead and roll your damage die twice.
First roll is a 1. Switching over to a D8.
Sounds good.
And that's a 2. So I'm now at a 6.
All right. Well, this is just meaningful in the game then. This is how it was supposed to be. So he's shooting directly at you, and a few of the rounds kind of ricochet off the car, but one pegs you in the opposite shoulder than the one he hit you the first time, and maybe the other one hits you in the body or like arm, so crippling your left side maybe.
Oh, you son of a bitch! He's gonna kind of slide down to the ground.
Maybe that weapon kind of calmly sitting in his lap with the care package open, like the names of the bullets sitting next to you.
Perfect. I love it.
All right, so we still have Jose or Crazy Joe and Mouth to attack still. Sorry, I was still defending in my head for some reason.
All right, so Crazy Joe would be like here with this rat in front of him. And he's like petting it, and then he starts talking to him. He's like, "Help me, little Jimmy. You're my only hope. Please help me." And he would like put the rat down and take the little piece of cheese that was in the string and like toss it their way.
What kind of? I would say charm, but what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, talking to the rat, yeah, that would be charm, I would imagine. So,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, and I'm going to even go as far to say is you're prepared and an expert to talk to this rat.
All right.
It's from Crazy Jim, man.
I might be taking some
crazy
liberties here.
So how many dice am I rolling?
3.
Sweet. My charm is 2, and I got an 8, a 2, and a 10.
All right. For the sake of the rest of this video, we're gonna have to postpone care packages because they're getting them every other round. But so you successfully charmed this rat. So go ahead and tell me kind of how that sequence finishes out.
So I when I threw the little piece of cheese, like I could see the rat just like looking at me, probably thinking like, "What the fuck is he saying?" And he smells the cheese, so he starts running, booking it towards the people. And I had set the bomb for like 15 seconds, so pretty much he rushes and goes underneath like a barrel where there's like 3 guys, and it just explodes.
Absolutely. And last but not least, Mouth. What is kind of the attack you got going here?
So Mouth is over by the side of the building. He wants to see if there's an alternate window in the building where he can like smash the window real quick, hop in, roll through there, and then like pop up kind of behind these guys where he wants to.
I've kind of pictured us all inside the building this whole time.
Okay, sorry.
To kind of meet you in the middle, I would maybe let you kind of sneak away during this hail of gunfire with maybe like a subtlety or a control speed.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to subtly like go through and try to sneak up behind this care package and lieutenant.
Yeah, I would say what is your class again? Or your role?
I'm a sneaky con man, but my subtlety.
Sneaky con man. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have 3 to roll if you're doing subtlety or speed.
Cool. Yeah. Hope I'll choose speed if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. 2 successes, 1 failure.
So yeah, you managed to like kind of tuck up to the wall, and the explosions of like the gasoline barrels and the other people getting blown up, this mouse, you have a lot of distractions here to work with for you to kind of scale the wall and get up tucked behind the
Jesus Christ, this is like a Thanksgiving dinner.
So you have effectively neutralized most of the guards outside of the lieutenant. He's probably got 1 guy left. Pops is down in an extent. I know he's not mechanically down, but for the sake of it, he is shot. Mouth is behind them, and Rex and Crazy Joe are kind of in the foreground here. So we are kind of coming close on time. Sorry, Dave. but I do want to get this done by 12 so I can go to sleep.
Okay.
So
So
however you want it.
Rex actually sees Pops fall, and he just looks up at the lieutenant, and he begins at a slow walk and then just starts sprinting towards him. And he just tackles him, and he just starts punching him back, back and forth, like just he's basically he's using speed. He's going that over control. Definitely force, but I'd say intimidation, I guess, because he's pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's
Fucking
probably
douche.
done this before, so at least
Yeah, I'd
two
say you're
dice.
probably. I don't know if you're prepared, but yeah, 2 for being an expert for sure.
So I got a 2 and a 4. So that's both under 7.
Yeah,
and
you're beating the fuck out of this guy.
but I'm gonna basically I'm not gonna knock him unconscious, but I'm gonna basically bloody him to the point where I can just pick him up by his shirt and just walk him back to Pops and just say, drop him at his feet. I don't think I can do that in one round, but
Let's see what everyone else got and see kind of how this all ties together.
Cool.
Pops, for the sake of it, I would like you to go last, since you're kind of chaotic.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So, Crazy Joe, you are also in front of the lieutenant if you want to go next.
How many people are left?
The lieutenant and like another guard.
Gotcha. I would probably, like, if I still have the Tommy gun, just aim at the other guy and just shoot at him, see if I can get him to drop the case.
All right, I picture that as a speed or an instinct, maybe.
Gotcha. I'll do instinct. What am I rolling?
I would say you're probably not. Are you prepared to shoot this guy? I mean, you got a gun, leveled it on him. I would say you're probably prepared. You're probably an expert at this by now. So yeah, go ahead and roll 3.
There were all 3 successes.
Righto. So yeah, the few people remaining that are like messing with this crate, you manage to spray through them and pepper them, and they fall to the ground. Basically now there's just the audible echo of the guttural noises coming from the lieutenant. Which brings us to Mouth.
Mouth wants to try and swipe the key from the lieutenant and open the cargo as Rex is bringing the lieutenant over to Pops.
All right, so I'm not going to have you roll for that just because he's already on top of him.
Cool.
Who has the case from before?
For
the sake of simplicity, do you want to have it?
I probably would have had it just because I kind of like the things to be in my hands.
That's a very Mouth thing to say. But so yeah, you managed to just, you're not even sneaking at this point. The threat's been neutralized. You come up and you kind of see him like those mountain clips, like the
Carabiner.
rope climbing clip. Yep, there you see that like hooked onto his camo vest here.
Yeah.
So you're able to pull that off, and you are next to the case should you like to open it.
Let's see what we got here.
It almost like as soon as you insert the key and turn it, it's like like the slight steam rolls out from an undisclosed location in this case, and inside it is an not identical, is a like key card, which looking at the case you could definitely see that this is how you get it open.
Shit. Now I need to go get the case open. I want to take the key card and like fumble and swipe it if I can.
So as you're doing that, let's go ahead and finish out the confrontation between Pops and Lieutenant.
So Pops is kind of leaning against the underside of this Bronco, kind of using some of the hoses and wires and things to kind of hoist himself back to his feet, kind of dragging his boot heels underneath of him. And he's got blood coming out of several different places. And he kind of coughs and spits blood kind of onto the ground. And he reaches, takes that hat off, pulls the gun out, and just kind of tosses the hat onto the ground. And he pulls up those bullets that have the names on them. And one at a time, he loads them into this little tiny revolver. This one's name was Steven. He puts his bullet in and he kind of rotates it. This was Todd. He puts in another one, rotates it. This was Aaron. Puts in another. And he goes all the way through, naming these individual soldiers whose names he knows without even having to look at the bullets. And he
So I
finally
almost picture like their number, their regiment, their military
absolutely.
outfit.
Yeah, the rank, their hometown that they came from.
And I would imagine in the middle of this, he starts to like sort of, and I just slap him on the face. No. And I just hold him up like.
And he's kind of like lolling around right now, just beaten senseless. And he makes eye contact with Pops. You old fool. And he also spits, but his also has a few teeth in it. You spent your whole life here talking about how it was over. Your life was over instead of making something. Now look at you. You're going to die. Just like me. Just like them.
Yeah, you may be right. I might die. But I'll tell you what. I had one thing that I needed to do before I went to hell.
And he kind of slides the revolver closed, kind of slamming the chamber home. And he kind of levels the gun.
I'm going to make sure that you get there first.
And I think we shoot to outside, and we just see, like, through a window, just like 6 successive flashes of muzzle fire.
That kind of, after that scene, it goes back to Mouth kind of opening the case and like staring in disbelief almost, as the rest of you kind of shuffle over. Inside this case, there is there's no item. It's just a flat screen, like inside the case, and it's static at first, and it flickers, and you see Archie's face, and it's not even his face; it's like his head. It's like a Mario from Mario 64 head, where it's just kind of like floating, nondescript. Max Headroom. Oh man, that's exactly what I pictured him to look like. And it stops, and then it goes to like full body Archie Shaw. Well, I'll be damned. I wouldn't expected you guys to get this all done in one episode. Doors ripped off, fucking people dying. It's been great. Viewings through the roof. Now here's what I got for you. A sponsorship. You will be efficiently with the Cadians Keep team. Getting paid to do what you do best. Fuck shit up. Then I guess your response to being a number is up to you.
Rex just kind of, you see him look up at the camera and say, "We need a doctor. Since we're getting paid now."
Do we get benefits? Paid vacation? I need to see my human resources representative.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you save Pops, we're on the team.
I think at this point, Pops is probably collapsing back down to the ground, just not even able to stand anymore.
Crazy Joe, what do you got to say?
He would be like, we need to get Pops out of here and just, we're stuck here regardless. They're not gonna let us, leave. So we might as well roll with it. And he would wait while they're taking Pops out of the building. He would take his last grenade.
Well, before they even take you guys out of the building, I'm kind of just gonna leave it on that cliffhanger. We don't know if Pop survives. We don't know exactly what the sponsorship entails, but the camera kind of fades back, and you see the Goodyear blimp floating, and like the smoke rising, and maybe even the smoke rising from the warehouse you guys had come from originally, and
You hear the megaphone with mouth saying, "Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen."
That's all, folks. But yeah, that's where we go. That's it.
Fantastic. That was awesome, guys.
Fucking thank you guys for bearing with me. That was.
I see what you did there.
Oh yeah. That's my sign off. But yeah, I had a fucking riot. This was a fucking dope ass game. RP was incredible, which is exactly why I love this system. For as rules light as it is, really opens the door for you to do whatever the fuck you wanted. And I really like that about this system. It doesn't really leave a whole lot of challenge unless you want to nitpick every situation, which personally isn't really my style. I like the momentum that this system has. You get a flow, and everyone starts enjoying themselves and has an idea of how their character would act, and then it just really comes down to word choice, in my opinion. So. This is like I guess, any ending comments by my wonderful players this evening, where we do signups.
Thanks for running this game, dude. It was super fun, and I didn't even really have the character takes less than 60 seconds to create. The system takes less than 60 seconds to understand. This is it's 2-minute RPG. This is, I guess, a 1-minute RPG. So
realistically, I see a lot of benefit in impromptu games where it's like, hey, I don't have fucking 4 days to read the player's handbook, but I would like to play this weekend. You drinking with buddies, fucking by a fire, even.
Yeah, it's exactly kind of why I kind of designed some of these styles of systems. The nights when half the party doesn't show up whenever it's your normal game, and you've got to have something to play because other people showed up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're like, well, let's just throw this together and do it.
And I said this to you before. I don't really picture this system as like a campaign system. You totally could, but at that extent, it's more of like an impromptu, build your own story at that point. Now, there's just not enough rule mechanics there to campaign off of. But
exactly,
I fucking love playing this in one shots. It's fucking awesome.
Good, I'm glad.
Good experiences running these games.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a blast. This is the first time I've gotten a chance to play the system and the setting. So yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. And all of you guys are fantastic to play with. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Well, all right, Dave, you're quiet over there. Anything you'd like to say about the game system? Thoughts, concerns?
No, I really love the quick and easy nature of it, and the definite flow for RP. It just opens up the floodgates for it, and I can really appreciate that. The only problem is then it's you've had so much fun that you want to continue like a second or third session, and that's a lot of times what but yeah, that's how much fun it is. So yeah, I had a blast playing with all these guys, and it was awesome to finally play with Philip online. So looking forward to more games.
Super fun, Dave.
I'm going to go ahead and lead it to you guys to start us off with outros. We'll do the same order as before. So, Philip, go ahead and kick us off.
Yeah, I'm Philip. Thanks for watching, guys. It was awesome. Thanks, Baron. Thanks, guys.
Be on the lookout for a couple games Philip is running here in the future. I know I'm in one of them that will be on my channel this Sunday, the
That's right.
12th.
12. Yep.
And then you are also putting together another one shot in the same setting, which is our a Fur and Fury. So
that's right.
I'm not gonna pressure you to pick me for that game, though I would love to be in it. But
well, we only have 3 players so far, so we'll scrounge up another one and get it going. I'm excited for it.
Hell yeah, looking forward to it. All right, next up, Jose.
Had a lot of fun. Thanks for letting me play, and see you guys later.
Hell yeah, dude. You know it. Jeremy, you are up next.
There it goes. Yeah. Hey, everybody. This has been Jeremy. I'm with the YouTube channel, the Erasmus Expeditions, where you can see games like this and some others that are played. I had just a blast tonight. It's just a great time. And yeah, so check me out over at the Erasmus Expeditions. Also check us out, me and Jeff Doty, with our podcast, the Dudes of Yore. We've got 1 episode out. We're on YouTube and SoundCloud. Hopefully another episode to drop soon. And yeah, man, I had a fantastic time. Thank you, Baron.
Pleasure's all mine, for sure. And last and most certainly not least, Dave.
Hey, folks, Dave again, RWD Gaming. I appreciate Baron running the game tonight, and look forward to more. And yeah, just a lot of fun. So till then, feel the pump.
All right, guys. I will be putting the links to these fellow gamers' channels into the description below. This is RWD Gaming. We do all sorts of tabletop-related videos and shit like this. So hopefully I can get back into the swing of things and start pumping out more content. But until then, we're signing off. I can sign off.